The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlights, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlights, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? Dolly back in the house. Things seem to be heating up in the Jack and Lilly case. A lot of new information, a lot of new interviews coming out. And we're going to go over some of that stuff here tonight with you beautiful people. It's absolutely good to see you. But first, so I don't got to say this 1,000 times tonight, I want you guys to take a second for me and hit that like button. Leave your DNA all over it, okay? And you know the routine, just in case you go missing. You see this big bloodhound nose I got? I'm going to sniff you out, but I'm going to need your DNA on file, okay? Then I'm going to come track you down no matter what. Listen, many people going missing right now. It could be you. It could be you, and you're going to need me. Plus, if you're brand new here, all right, we're really close to hitting 69,000. And who don't like a good 69 every now and then? Okay. 69,000 it is. Don't have a dirty mind. Don't have a dirty mind, people. Okay. So I'm going to need you to sub up, ring the bell for notifications. And of course, feel free to share my ugly face. This one right here. The one you're looking at on any social media platform you choose, as long as it's not porn hub. Okay. Today we had a Christmas miracle. Even though it wasn't Christmas and it's summertime, Claire Bell, little girl, Canada, goes missing on Sunday. 3 days later, she is found walking down the road by herself, and the police see her on a drone. They had some tips that the little girl was in the area, and they actually recovered this little girl alive. Now, her mother is in jail for child abandonment, which, thank God, Canada, y'all finally arresting some people, right? It appears that she has some mental health issues, right? So thank God this little girl is okay. In prayers that the mother gets the help that she needs. The little girl, Claire, told the police her mother dropped her off and told her to wait and she would be back to get her. Strange, but this little girl was able to survive and make it. Good work to the police that recovered this little girl. Miracles do happen. Now, we need this same type of miracle right now to go down in the Jack and Lily case, because listen, things are looking bad. And every time I say that, people think I'm clickbaiting, but I seriously mean it. It's bad. It's really bad. The kids have been missing for over a month and a half. How does people not see that bad? They're like, Dolly's clickbait. He put bad in the title. It is bad. I mean, if I could think of a word worse than bad, I would use that. Okay. Like fucking terrible. How about that? Is that clickbait? If I put Jack and Lily Sullivan, this is effing terrible, would that be clickbait? I don't think so, because it is effing terrible. It is absolutely bad that there's no answers for these little kids. And people always complain, like, listen, get out there and do something. Don't worry about what Dolly's doing. That's right. That's right. Dolly got to eat, right? Dolly got to eat. And like I said, people like to complain that, you know, they get in these Facebook groups and they just want to run off at the mouth. And instead of doing something good and positive to try to find these children, right, they're worried about me putting bad in the title. Okay, now listen, I don't force anybody to watch my videos, but apparently if you say bad, everybody will watch. Okay, I didn't know. I'm putting bad, super bad, okay, terribly bad in the next video title. Super terribly bad. Right? Shame on me wanting people to watch the video so we can bring awareness to missing children here. Because that's what we do, right? Like, I'm not getting up here talking about damn, you know, let's see, NASCAR and using the name and the title and putting bad so people watch me talk about NASCAR. We bring awareness to missing children here and missing people. That's what this channel is pretty much based on doing. Now, we do talk some other stuff every now and then, but basically it's missing people. And with these kids not getting the press that they need or they deserve, it's important that us YouTubers talk about this case, because if it wasn't for YouTube, think about how many people wouldn't even know about this, right? Because you ain't see this on your, not in the States, you ain't see it on your local news. You didn't see it on Dateline. You didn't see it on Nancy Grace. You didn't see it on Banfield, right? You didn't see none of these things. In Canada, think about that, Canada. If local people, yes, of course, if you're in Nova Scotia, you know about it. Maybe Ontario, they're showing it a little bit, but not enough that it needs way more coverage, completely more. Shannon, thank you guys so much for your super stickers. Get on the train. We call it the Blessed Express, okay? You ain't blessed unless you riding with the best. And Shannon, you are riding with the crew tonight. So get you a nice window seat, buckle up, right? You never know. This trip could get a little bumpy. You know, you never know with the phone lines and people calling in. And we're going to go over some of the stuff Daniel said and some big clues coming out, okay? Big bad clues. People like, Dolly said bad, okay? The word of the night is bad. So every time I say bad, I want y'all to scream and wave your hands like this, okay? Anybody ever watch Pee-wee's Playhouse? Anybody out there? Just press 1. Remember how in Pee-wee's Playhouse they had the word of the day? And then when everybody said it, all the toys screamed. They're like, ah! Okay? So the word of the day is bad. So every time I say it, I want waving hands. Ah! Okay? I just find it so people get triggered so easy in these internet streets. I can't understand it, right? Like, you try to do something good, and I'm truly trying to do something good. Yeah, I'm saying, and that's what I don't understand. Like, it's always something that somebody's mad about, right? Instead of saying, thank you, Dolly, for taking your time out your day and covering these missing kid cases. Thank you. It's always like, oh, you just making $1 million off of kids. I can tell you this, I ain't. And what I spent most of my day was getting bit by mosquitoes. I got so many mosquitoes in my backyard. I feel like I got the West Nile virus. Okay. It is terrible. I got bit the hell up today. I've been working on a tiki bar, you know, because I'm a millionaire. I done made off YouTube. People are crazy. People are crazy, right? If I was that rich, I'd have somebody build me a tiki bar, right? So I've been working on this tiki bar for like, I don't know, off and on for like the last week. I haven't had a lot of time, but I got a lot done tonight on that. But in this interview that we're about to watch, it's another one from Daniel. Okay, so Daniel's been doing some talking, a little bit of allegedly some of Malea's family's been some talking. The biological grandmother has been doing some talking, and we hopefully, she's been leaving comments here. So I left a message, I believe PJ did, to have her contact us. I would like to get a little more information on the family situation, and maybe she will reach out. Okay. Now, so far we've heard from cousins, third cousins, Daniel's cousin or niece. I'm not quite sure which. Logan, it was the person's name that did the interview on the other channel. And it all seems that the story keeps changing. And here's one thing that never changes: the truth. The truth never changes. The truth is always the same. Okay. There's
no question. Ain't nobody watch Got Your Clan. JS Echo.
3 sides. Thank you for the support. And go ahead, get on the Dolly train, buckle up. Okay. We riding down the tracks at 80 miles an hour tonight. We're riding down the tracks at 80 miles an hour at night. We're going to have a good time. It's late night, a little late night Dolly, right? Somebody got to be up here to entertain you beautiful people and bring some knowledge and awareness at the same time, right? Some people appreciate what I do, and some people just hate my damn face. But you know what? I've come to the conclusion: you can't make everybody happy. So I'm like, F you these days. F you. I don't care. You don't like me, hate me, love me. But I do thank all the people that support and come hang out. Now, I'm not talking about when I say support financially donating to the channel. I'm talking about if you just like the video, or if you just come here to listen, or if you share the video. It takes everybody to power the Dolly train. Okay, I can't power it by myself. I need you guys, right? So thank you for everybody, because everybody here matters. It ain't just the people that donate. It's the people that like the video. It's the people that watch the videos. It's the people that share the videos. Every last one of you guys matter here on Dolly Vision. All right, we're a big fam here, right? We only want the best of the best. We only want good people here. We don't want assholes and terrible people. We want good people in the chat, that type of stuff, right? I think good vibes attract good vibes. Bad people attract bad people, right? And I like kind-hearted, good people. And if that is you, you're in the right place. Okay. You are in the right, especially if you love some true crime, right? If you're a true crime junkie, like some of us late night true crime junkies, you definitely found the right channel. Okay. So Daniel came out and did some speaking today, and it was out on TikTok. So we're going to watch this because it's better just to watch it than me tell you about it. So let me share this video with you guys real quick. And he dropped some clues into this. That there's some things changing in the story. There's some new clues in the story. It's, and I don't think we're too far from the cops cracking down on what's going on here. Okay, let's get it.
Weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is
accusing you.
Always wanted to know what happened.
The mystery of what happened to 6-year-old Lily Mae Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother, Jack William James Sullivan, is...
Y'all can hear that, right? Y'all good out there? Caffeinated Duchess?
CBS receipts got nothing on BJ's blocked list.
On BJ's block list? I don't know what that means, but BJ has a block list. Just
you
reporting.
Go girl, Lil Claire Bell, you are strong. Long life to you.
Yes, thank God for Claire Bell. That, that made my day a lot better, because I didn't have a good start to my day because of them freeing Karen Reed, but hearing that Claire Bell was found safe, that makes up a little bit for it, and all in all, when I weigh my day out, yeah, this lady gets away with murder, but there was a life saved, so I guess it evens it out to be an okay day, so y'all can hear that good. Okay. Thank you. Because there's some times I'm going to stop it to talk because he says some things that I find really suspicious.
is indeed gripping the country and beyond. It is Friday, May 2nd. Martell and his partner, Malaya Brooks Murray, the children's mother, are having a lazy morning with their baby. Lily and Jack are in the kitchen alone.
Malaya and baby were asleep. Lily came in multiple times. I was not in deep sleep by any means. And then about 20 minutes passed, and then when I woke up, Malaya was right beside me. She was still asleep.
Okay. He wasn't in a deep sleep, but he was asleep and woke up. I mean, that kind of contradicts itself. Like, if I'm not in a deep sleep, like if I'm just laying there, it's one thing. But if you're laying there snoring, your ass is asleep.
And I said, I don't hear Lily and Jack.
The time, no one will say for sure, but police say it was around 10 a.m. when they got a 911 call.
Nobody
I ran up in the woods.
Nobody will say when for sure, okay? Because the story keeps changing, right? He says he runs up in the woods. He runs right back. That took him about 30 seconds, he says, which I'm not completely buying this story.
So the kids, they have cabins up in the woods, which only took me like 30 seconds. I came right back down. She was on the phone with the RCMP.
For 6 days, crews tackled an exhaustive search. The children's mother took the baby to be with her family in another part of the province. Her mother told CBC News the RCMP told them not to speak with news reporters. The RCMP says it just advised everyone to be mindful of the information they share publicly.
So see right there, Malaya was lying, right? The RCMP said they never told Malaya that. Be mindful of the information you're sharing. So they're basically saying, don't tell them anything we tell you. And, but they're not saying don't speak to the news. They're not saying don't beg for the safe return of your kid. They're not saying don't search for your kid. If Daniel can search for the kid, why can't she search for the kid? To me, she's lying. And this is just another lie that she has told. And when we heard from the grandmother today, the grandmother said she was emotionless, that she's always soft-spoken. She seems like she's soft-spoken, but she was emotionless. And the house was a disarray. And the outside of the house looks like a damn meth lab, right? Or like, ain't been cleaned up in a good while. And from my understanding, Malaya's not working. Daniel's not working. Well, he is working, but one day a week. Why is this yard so messy? Right? Like even me, I cut the grass today, picked up stuff in the yard. It's just one of those things I do at least once a week, right? And my stuff never really gets bad because I try to keep it pretty decent. And I've been working really hard on the yard here lately, just getting it nice and everything. And when you see this, and her grandmother says that Malaya usually lived a pretty clean life. She's always clean. The kids were always clean. Her environment was always clean.
Daniel on same time zone as Candace Wells.
Daniel's on same time zone as Candace Wells. Now, just like I said, that the phone lines, our door's always open to anybody that wants to talk. So if the grandmother wants to talk, she's more than welcome to contact me and get up here. Daniel, if you're watching, and I know you are, okay, contact us. If you think we're wrong, let us know, right? Let us know. But you say some very suspicious things in this, and I'm going to get to it in just a second.
On May 7th, police scaled back the search.
The probability of survival is taken into consideration.
But search crews returned for 2 more weekends until the end of May, searching wells, mine shafts, and septic systems, even flying a drone beneath the home.
The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots.
Police say they found a boot print. And listen to this in the radio chatter.
Families brought us to a location there not far away that there's a piece of a blanket.
Police won't say anything about a blanket, but Martell says a piece of Lily's blanket was found near the boot print. He said,
Okay. One boot print, not a trail Okay, one boot print and a piece of Lily's blanket has been found. Now we know Daniel was awake, right? And Malaya was asleep. So Daniel is the last one to hear or see these kids alive. Now we heard the grandmother said she went into the woods and you can't even go through it. Trees are so overgrown that you have to climb over trees. You have to go under trees. And she does not believe those kids are in the woods. And she don't even believe the kids are with us anymore. Okay. So there's a piece of Lily's blanket in the woods with one single boot print. And here's the thing that is funny to me. The family knew where it was at. Okay. That means Daniel knew where this piece of blanket was and this boot print was at. And in the beginning, they didn't say any of these things. See how the story keeps changing? The inconsistencies in the story. Major clue right there. Major staging. Right? I see it in the chat, Heather. Right? Major clues here. Major clues. Red flags all day long. Blanket, boot print. Did they plant that boot print? Did they plant that blanket to make it look like the kids ran off into the woods? But after the police searched 9 kilometers of the woods, roughly around 5-mile radius, with drones, helicopters, police, searchers, multiple times, nothing in those woods. This almost seems staged. All right, let's get, there's more that it's pretty shocking to me.
Says both children may have undiagnosed autism.
For a lot of people, this story just sounds odd.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. And I see it every day online.
He's keenly aware
He's
the public
watching.
suspects him. Says the police did too at the start.
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
So he offered to take a polygraph test.
I was extremely nervous.
Why would you be nervous? You sit there and say, I want to take the polygraph test. I want to take the polygraph test. But when they pulled your card and said, okay, we'll give you a polygraph test, you get nervous. If I didn't have anything to do with anything, I don't know if I'd be nervous. Now, if I'm thinking, okay, well, they're going to say I failed this test and I'm telling the truth, it may make me a little nervous in that aspect. They're going to come back and say I failed when I'm being honest. I mean, he could be saying something like that, but it's just his demeanor. Like he almost has a half-assed smile on his face while he's talking about this. This is something he should be traumatically sad about. This should be like trauma, not just another day in the park. And that's how I kind of took Malaya's interview too. Like she gave it like it was just like she was talking about a night of bingo. You know what I'm saying? Nothing traumatic. The conversation, you know, it just seems like if my kid was missing, I would be just destroyed. I mean, I understand it's a month and a half later, but at least he changed his shirt. Okay. At least that's a clue too. Okay. There's a big red flag right there. I'm kidding on that one, guys. I'm kidding. Listen, Daniel, you're watching. You can hit me up. We'll bring you on to the show. We'll get you a nice couple, you know, some really nice shirts as a coming on the show gift. And definitely no tap out though. No tap out. We'll get you some affliction. I'm kidding. But if anybody knows about the fight gear stuff, affliction is old like tap out, right? It's like some shit people ain't wore since early 2000s, right? But there was affliction and tap out was kind of out at the same time. But I'm kidding. We'll get you something cool. We'll get you some Dolly merch. Come on up. Let's discuss it.
Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lily and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you.
Yeah.
It has been that long. It has been that long. Okay. Duper's Delight, Walmart, USC. Well, I would still be messed up, Dolly. It's not been that long. Yeah, I would. That's what I'm saying. I would still be a little, you know, a little destroyed by it. I mean, he's pretty calm. He said he would be he was nervous when he took the lie detector's test, but the police told him he did a good job.
Yeah,
When did you find out the result of your test?
immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed.
Hi, Kayla. How you doing?
The RCMP's
And
Corporal
then, like, see how he said it? You did a good job and passed. Like, you passed a fucking exam for being a doctor or a lawyer or something. You know, like, why was he happy he passed? That to me is a little suspicious. I'm suspicious of both of them, Daniel and Malaya. But let me say this before we get too far into this. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire. Also, the callers' opinions tonight, we are going to take some calls. Opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone, and I mean everyone, Malaya, Daniel, the grandparents, everybody is innocent to proving guilty in a court of law, and none of these people have been charged with anything. So everything tonight's pure speculation. And the biggest one of them all, and I don't care if you break every one of the 10 commandments, do not, whatever you do, try to be Dolly at home. It is extremely dangerous, and I am not responsible. Okay? There you go, Sage. Don't be Dolly at home. So, you know, real suspicious, his nervousness or his smiling or his demeanor when he's talking about something that's so traumatic and a tragedy. Some Cloud says, I hope don't encourage that woman, Some Cloud. Okay. But welcome to the Dolly train. Board the Blessed Express. You ain't blessed unless you rocking with the best, and the best is Dolly. Okay. Welcome to the train, Some Cloud. Choo choo. All right. Choo choo, MFers.
Guillaume Tremblay is not an investigating officer, but he speaks for the force in Nova Scotia.
You know, it's quite rare that in my career, I've never seen two missing children go at the same time.
Was anything found in any of these searches that was deemed to be of significance? Even if you can't tell me what it was, anything of significance?
So I can tell you that the investigation is ongoing and that we haven't found any evidence to show that there was an abduction of the children.
So you don't think they were abducted, but you can't find them. How do two young children just vanish?
That's a great question, Kayla. And we are asking for the public for tips and information.
He says the force has...
I'll tell you. Okay. I'll tell you how two children go missing. They don't. Okay. They're not in the woods. There's no signs of these kids being kidnapped. The parents have inconsistent statements. And I would say, in my opinion, these parents know what happened to these kids. Are these kids alive? I pray to God that people are right and they're hiding these kids for maybe they didn't want CPS involved, and, you know, whatever it may be, whatever reason there is to hide these kids. I pray to God that is the case. Okay. But I don't think a kidnapper strolled by just randomly and said, oh, there's two kids in the backyard that you wouldn't know were there, and kidnapped them. And Daniel's story is a little bit sus, because if Malaya was asleep, he could have got up, done something with the kids, and she wouldn't even know. Okay. And then when they share the first story, it's scripted. She says the kids would talk to anybody. They would get in a car with anybody. And that's not normal behavior. And that's not normal to have your kids. You know, you teach your kids stranger danger. I know I do. Still to this day, I'm cautious of my child. She's 25 years old. And, you know, I'm like, don't be talking to people. Make sure when you go, because she's getting ready to go out of town, I'm like, don't stay at no shitty hotel. Make sure you get a decent hotel that's safe, well lit, good security, because she's going to some concert. And, you know, I don't want nothing. She's the only daughter I got. I don't want nothing to happen to my kid. So I'm still preaching stranger danger to her, and she's 25 years old. Okay. And then you heard Daniel say the same thing. Oh, well, they would talk to anybody. They would get in a car with anybody. Where's the parenting at in this family? Okay. Is nobody teaching these kids that strangers are dangerous? Right? I mean, I understand you got friendly kids, but that friendly that they would get in a car with somebody? You know, you always tell your kids what? Don't take candy from strangers. All right. Don't do that. It's dangerous. Don't go get in anybody's car. Don't help anybody look for their dog without coming back and telling me, things like that. And they both shared almost the exact same story. And I was like, this shit is scripted. And they weren't even together at the time they shared the story. And I was like, okay, two people are telling almost the exact same story. They've planned this story. And that's just my opinion. Some of you guys may think different than that. But that was one of the first huge red flags that stood out to me. And instantly, they're talking about the children in the past tense. Another red flag. Inconsistencies in their statements about when they were asleep, when they were awake, when they called the police. Why is this so secretive? Why is it now we're hearing on the news, well, there was a blanket and a boot print that the family led the police to? Why does that sound like a stage scene to me? Another huge red flag, but a clue in this. Definitely a clue, because if the kids ain't in the woods, how did the boot print and how did the blanket get into those woods? Somebody put it there. Why? To throw off the police? To make the police think, oh, they're in the woods? So instead of focusing the investigation on the people that it should be focused on, they're out there searching the damn woods for kids that are not there, wasting resources. Now, I know a lot of people think these kids have been hidden, but I just don't see the reason they would do that, right? Because, yes, they would be in huge amounts of trouble for this, right? Huge amount of trouble for hiding these kids, right? Not as much if they hurt the kids, but a huge amount if something just happened to the kids, right? Like they just put them somewhere. To me, it makes zero sense. And if the kids are missing, I feel like they've done something to the kids. And now listen, Michaela's behavior is absolutely strange, but something about Daniel keeps setting off my radar, right? Like the it goes off constantly with this guy. I don't know why I get these vibes from him, because most people are backing him now and thinking, okay, he's doing his best. He took the lie detector test, but I just get a different kind of vibe. I get a Chris Watts vibe, and I've said this from day one. You go back and listen to my very first video. I was like, yo, this dude kind of reminds me of Chris Watts, and he had the opportunity to do something because Malaya was asleep, and he says he was awake. Now, the story changed. They woke up and the kids were gone. The kids were in the kitchen. But the first story, they didn't know if the kids were outside, where the kids were at. The second story, Lily kept coming into the room. Here's the thing. They never got up to cook the kids breakfast. They never talk about putting the kids to bed. They never talk about giving the kids a bath, what the kids ate for breakfast, nothing, brushing their teeth, nothing, right? Why were they in and out of consciousness, but yet they were caring for Meadow, but not looking after sick Lily or not checking on Jack, which is, 4 years old. You're a baby. 4 years old is a baby. Lily at 6 years old, that's a baby. Okay, I mean, it may not be in a crib baby, but that is a baby. It is insane. It is insane. And it sets off so many red flags and so many concerns that something just ain't right. And you hear all the family say it.
What was outside temp when they went missing?
What was outside temp when they went missing? I'm not quite for sure, but I know they didn't take their jackets.
Yoda, get to point. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Okay, listen, they're reading, the chats get read, so we have a 2 emoji limit tonight, okay, Jay? And I'm very well getting to the point, as there's a lot of suspicion around these families, and is there going to be an arrest? Because like I said, the story keeps changing. That's the point. There's clues with the blanket and the boot print, and it seeming like it's a staged scene. Okay, was this scene staged? I think it was. I think that footprint was planted there, and I think that blanket was placed there, and I don't believe these kids are in them damn woods, okay? To get straight to the point. I mean, as straight as you can get it. All right.
Has received close to 500 tips, some that have taken them elsewhere in the country. But the only confirmed sighting of Jack and Lily was the day before they disappeared in Nova Scotia. Martell says the children were seen on camera with the whole family. Still, police are asking for trail camera footage in the area dating back 5 days. They say they're trying to establish a timeline in the lead up to the disappearance.
So when teams are tasked, they get a bearing.
Crews have searched around 8.5 square kilometers.
Coming up through all of this stuff.
Amy Hansen has been the search manager for most of that. She's taking us into the woods to show us what her team has been dealing with.
The vast majority of it was probably from Fiona.
Downed trees from post-tropical storm Fiona 3 years ago.
This is actually fairly mild compared to some of the areas.
Over a total of 10 days, they searched for 12,000 hours.
It's pretty much unheard of in this province. It's the biggest search I've been involved in.
And she's been at this 22 years.
Do you think those kids are in the woods?
From everything I've seen, yes.
Why can't you find them?
They're small. They'd be hiding. They would have crawled underneath something probably when they got tired. They could have gone further than what we searched. There's all kinds of scenarios, unfortunately.
And that's playing heavily on the mind.
Okay, so the search coordinator believes that kids may be in the woods. Okay. And they overlooked them in that big of an area. Now here's the thing. This is where I'm gonna show the screen the video some more, but I just want to come up here big with you guys when you see this. When they went missing, within 30 minutes, the police were on the scene, screaming for them children. They searched all night long. They're in the middle of nowhere. You scream, you can hear that shit for miles. Okay, you can hear it for miles. Lily, we know, is the loudest child ever. All right, yeah. She has super lungs. They be crying, and you absolutely right. And all you'd have to do is be quiet and listen for the cries, and you would have found those children. They couldn't have made it but so far in 30 minutes or even an hour. Okay, through thick brush and stuff like that, they couldn't have made it that far. Them kids would have been screaming for help and crying, and somebody would have heard them. That search took place from that morning all night long with drones, infrared technology, night vision, right? These drones have all this shit. Like, they're high tech, right? Even my drone is high tech. And nothing. And you'd be surprised the stuff you can see with a drone. You can see good. And for anybody that watched me search for that young man in Richmond, and I was flying the drone, and I said, I see an encampment. I seen a little hut in the woods, like a tent built. And I was way up in the air when I seen that. And I was like, okay, let's go out into the woods and check it out. Because usually I'll fly areas I can't get to. And then once I see something, especially if I'm not for sure what it is, I go out into the woods and I find out what it is. Because my thing on my drone, once I see something, I can pin it on the map. Okay. So then I can use the controller as like GPS and walk out to what I pinned. So if I see something in the air, I can pin it on the controller, walk out there, look to see what it is, or lower the drone into the trees because it got anti-collision, and get closer to the ground and look and see what it is. So in the drones that these rescue teams are using, they're like $20,000 drones. They're like way more high tech than the drone I use. Right? We're talking flare. If you put off a heat signature, it is going to pick you up. So you telling me they're flying these drones in grid patterns all through the sky and nothing in the woods? That's because I don't believe these kids to be in the woods. Now, I don't know if the search team gets paid, that coordinator, and but she seems to think they're in the woods. I beg to differ. With a 30-minute head start or even an hour head start, you're not outrunning those drones. You're not out running the helicopters. You're going to hear them children. As soon as it gets dark and them kids get scared, they're going to start crying, and you're going to hear that. And they didn't. So to me, them kids ain't in the woods. They're not in the woods. It's all right. Let's get back to share this.
Of this woman, Lily and Jack's paternal grandmother.
Their smiles are just beautiful.
She hadn't seen the children in nearly 2 years, a relationship left complicated after her son, their biological father, chose to stay out of their lives. She says he has been questioned by police 3 times.
A couple of days ago, they had contact and they told him that they weren't looking his way anymore, that everything was fine.
She says she joined the search herself as soon as she heard Lily and Jack were missing.
Now, of course, they're going to check with the biological father to make sure he didn't have anything to do with it. Okay. And the biological father hasn't seen the kids in 3 years. The grandmother, it's been 19 months. She says that Malaya kind of changed. And their son, when Malaya wanted full custody, her son just gave up. Right? Gave up on Malaya, gave up on the kids, which is horrible. But I don't know what Malaya and his relationship was. And if y'all look, guys, Sage just posted the link to join our Dolly Vision Facebook group for Jack and Lily missing tips and clues. If you have any information or want to share on this story or talk about the story, that is a great place to do it. If you could, make sure you add that site, because we put a lot of updates and anything that comes out in the case there on the Facebook group. And the Facebook group is called Jack and Lily Missing Tips and Clues. And Sage just posted the link in the chat. She'll post it again throughout the stream, but make sure you guys add that. And if you hear anything, see anything, or something you want to share, make sure you share it there. Okay. Thank you, guys.
She doesn't believe the children are in the woods.
There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not.
The brush is just too thick.
It is way too thick. Way too thick.
Tonight is about saying a prayer.
She attended a vigil in Pictou County marking 1 month since the children went missing, and says she feels the support of the community and beyond.
Well, these are everybody's grandchildren. They're not just mine now.
As she clings to cherished keepsakes,
this is Lily's handprint.
She is pleading for any information that could provide answers.
There is nothing more pure and innocent than a 6 and a 4-year-old.
Amen.
And they deserve so much better than what they got.
She keeps her mind occupied spending time in the garden, surrounded by hummingbirds, symbols of hope. Though she admits now that so much time has passed, she doesn't have much hope the children will be found alive, and even worries the mystery of what happened to them may never be solved.
Okay.
We now know.
So, super sad situation, guys, but right there, we're learning something new tonight, especially about, well, we knew there may have been a pink blanket found, but it came back and people alleged that the family said it had nothing to do with Jack and Lily. Okay. Remember that? There was like a sock found, I believe some underwear, different things were found, and the family kept coming back saying it had nothing to do with Jack and Lily. All right. That's the information that was put out. Now we know that this pink blanket belonged to Lily, right? In a single boot print. Why is there only one boot print? Because maybe the person that planted it didn't carry 2 boots out into the woods. So there's only one boot print. I mean, unless the kid's hopping through the woods like Peter Cottontail, which I don't see happening. And then Jack, there's no boot prints. There's only one kid's footprint. Where's the other kid? Did they go in 2 different directions? That's not going to happen. The little boy, if he was to run off, he's going to follow his little sister, the bigger sister. Okay. And here's the thing. They got dogs. Why ain't the dogs missing? Why didn't the dogs follow the kids? Usually you go walking through the woods, the dogs are going to follow you. Dogs ain't missing. Meadow's not missing. Malaya was asleep. Daniel's awake, and these kids magically vanish, and he instantly runs out to their cabins for 30 seconds and then comes back in. I don't know. I'm a little suspicious of that. And then we got all the family infighting with each other, cousins fighting with Daniel's mother, and we got people allegedly that, I'm going to say allegedly because we don't know. We have no way to verify, saying they're family members and that there's some fighting going on. And Malaya wanted to leave Daniel. Now, we can't verify that. Okay. Right now, this is just speculation because people have been calling in the show saying things. And some people believe that person's legit. And some people believe that person's a troll. So there's no real way for me to know. But it makes sense because when you hear the biological grandmother, she says, Malaya came to her and said, hey, look, it ain't working out with me and your son. I want to leave. And the grandmother told her, well, it's better to have two good parents than a set of broken parents that are not getting along. And it's terrible for the kids. And that is true. Kids don't need to be around all the fighting and cussing and screaming at each other. It's better, you go your own ways and be good to your kid, right? So I can understand the grandmother saying, hey, I understand that. And you're right. It's better for you to be on your own and my son to be on his own. And y'all work it out, not around the baby. So, but she also said after that point, things changed. Well, not at first. Everything was good. She thought they were going to change. And they didn't. Everything was good. She kept coming around, bringing the baby around. Anytime they wanted to see the kids, Malaya was bringing them around. And then we know that Malaya has been living with Daniel for 2 years. So in the last 19 months, something has changed. She stopped bringing the kids over to the biological grandmother, which seems like a wonderful woman. I like her fish pond. Okay. I need to clean mine out. I haven't used it in a while and I kind of let it overgrow but I need to clean my fish pond. It reminded me of that. Okay. And I like her fish pond and her little hummingbird things. And she looks like a really nice woman, right? Pleasant. And these are her grandbabies. So, and I don't think she has any reason to lie. And she says, everything was, not the cleanest. And she couldn't believe it because, she knows Malaya was with her son for 3 years. Okay. And went her own way. She was with Daniel for 3 years and went her own way. I think she may have the 3-year syndrome, right? With 3 years, bitch, I'm out. Okay. I'm only doing 3 and I got parole. I'm skipping town, right? I mean, I don't know. It seems like after about 3 years of these dudes, she's burnt out. And, and a lot of people don't want to think that a mother could do something to hurt their kid. I mean, look at what happened today with Claire Bell. This mother drives down the side of the interstate, drops her kid off, and really Joe Dirt's the kid. Wait here, I'll be back to get you. And then don't remember what she did with the kid. Or she said she didn't. But she had made a bunch of crazy TikTok posts. I don't know what everybody on TikTok is fucking nuts, right? What's with the crazy people on TikTok? That's why I don't do TikTok. She loses her rocker and now she's sitting in jail. She's going to lose custody, of course, of her child. She probably, if she gets to see the child, it'll be supervised visits for the next 18 years.
Years ago was a story body was high up tree and a hollow tree stops smells.
Okay. 3 years ago, there was a body high up in a tree and a hollow tree stops smells. Yeah. I mean, I can understand if a kid climbs into a tree or something like that, but even if you're putting off heat, they're going to find you with this technology. And searchers, you're still going to cry. You're going to make noise. I don't know. And you got to remember, Lily's 6 years old. Now at 6 years, a 4-year-old knew that the wait, right? So the kid sat there and waited for her mother for 3 days. A kid is smart enough to know their way back home. Okay. When I was 6 years old, man, I would walk up I could walk around anywhere and get back home. I knew my way around. And you got to remember, them kids have been in those woods. The kids know the woods, even at 6 years old. I mean, I'm sure they ain't the greatest, but I mean, you basically know your way around a little bit at 6. I ain't saying you couldn't get lost. I'm just saying I don't believe that they wandered off into those woods. The woods are scary, right? I'm a grown ass man. I ain't walking into the woods at night, right? And if I was in the woods at night where I couldn't see, I'd be scared. You'd be hearing Dolly out there crying, help me. So I'm saying, I just don't believe the kids were in the woods. And the police don't believe it either. They don't believe there's been an abduction. It's just the problem is this. They don't have the proof.
If unalived in plastic bags, no heat signatures.
Yes. Unalive, there's no heat because there's no, your body drops temperature fairly quick, right? Once you're deceased, there'd be nothing. You're not going to, they wouldn't see it. But if you're in plastic bags, they're going to bury you. You know, if you're going to hide a body, the best way, and this is horrible to even say, is bury it. I mean, people can't see underground. Being in the ground hides the smell. I will take phone calls soon. I usually talk for an hour and then I open up the phone lines. That's usually how I do it. And I'm at 52 minutes right now. So my intro to my show of what I talk about is usually for an hour. And then usually I let you guys take over on the phone lines. Spam him. Okay. Don't spam me, because if you spam me, you will get kicked. Okay. Yes, Dolly. Is there something important going on in the chat that I missed? Open lines. Daniel wants to talk. Is it, how do we know it's Daniel? Okay, let's open it. I'll open the phone lines. Let's do it. All right, give me a second. Let me put the phone line number on the screen for you. Nobody call in. If Daniel's in the room and that's really Daniel, let Daniel call in, because maybe he can clear up some of these suspicions we have.
Dolly, Daniel make be here.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, the phone line is on the screen. Nobody else call in. Okay, leave the phone lines open. I seen that. Misunderstood. Now, hopefully this is actually Dan. Hold on, I know how to check. Give me a second and I'll check and see if it's him. But the phone line is open. I just got to find his name in the chat. Because I know he has a YouTube channel and it should lead back to his channel. All right, I'm looking. Okay, where can I find his name? Okay, that's why I can't find a name. I'm way behind in the chat. Let me catch up in the chat real fast. Okay. Well, the phone lines are open. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure they're open. Yeah, they're open. Okay, the call-in number is 757-797-6694. All right. And I'm just trying to check. Hold on. Technical difficulties. I'm trying to make sure this is him. Let's see. Or if it's somebody that just created an account, you know how that goes. There's a lot of people that troll. Okay, here he is. Let's see. Channel activity. Go to channel. No, it's him. It's him. He's in the room. Okay. Yeah, Daniel, call in. Clear some of this stuff up for us, because You're right. In the interview, you said people were suspicious of you. And I can tell you now, I'm a little suspicious of you. You know, it's just some of the things you said and the time frame that you had. And if this blanket is out there, why hasn't this information came out? I missed it. I missed the call. Shit. Call back. It came up unknown. Okay. So it's definitely him. He is in the room. And I told you everybody watches the channel. I mean, every family member, every case I've ever talked about has came into the room. So Daniel is here with us, guys. Say hello to him. He is in the room. You have any questions? I'm sure you can ask him, but we're going to see if we can get him on the phone line and maybe clear up some of our suspicions. Be nice, y'all. Yeah, definitely be nice. Look, listen, I tell people all the time, people are innocent to proven guilty. Everything we talk about here is just speculation. We don't know. He could be innocent. You know, she could be innocent, or they could have something to do with it. At this point, nobody has been cleared by the RCMP. You know, he has taken a lie detector test, you know, and he says it came back good. That hasn't been confirmed by the RCMP. But if these kids are out there and, you know, these rumors of them hiding the kids, you know, and stuff like that, is this person calling in really a family member of Malaya's? Does he know who this guy is that is calling into the channel saying these things? You know, there's a lot of people that are blaming Malaya. And I know he wants people not to, but it's hard when, you know, she's not out there publicly trying to find the child. Okay. I'm sure we can all understand that. And I think that is what makes everybody so suspicious of Malaya. And, you know, are the kids in the woods? Because, you know, you would think in the beginning, this is one of these things that kind of boggle my mind, that you had this boot print and you had this blanket. Y'all knew about this and y'all knew where it was at. But in the beginning, both of you said that you believed it was an abduction, that somebody kidnapped these kids. So in the beginning, y'all didn't even believe the kids were in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, call Daniel, talk to Dolly. He's chatting at Dolly Vision. Okay. It's hard for me sometimes to keep up with the chat because it moves really fast, Daniel. So, Dolly, read your chat. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with it the best I can. Okay. Shouldn't attack me. I've been fully investigated and my family. Well, you got to understand, Daniel, that the situation, people are just trying to fill in the blanks. And when there's open questions, when there's blanks, people speculate, right? Now, I've never said that you've done anything. Never. Now, have I said I'm suspicious of you? Absolutely. I'm suspicious of you and Malaya, right? And I think a lot of the internet are. Like if we just polled it right now, I think a lot of these 1,300 people in the room right now are a little suspicious about what's going on. And the only two people that really hold any answers are you two guys, you and Malaya. And so, of course, the first people that have to be cleared in a situation like this is the parents. Okay. So in the beginning, of course, you got to know your prime suspect, number one and number two, right from the jump. You have to be cleared. And I think you're doing the right thing, taking a lie detector test and trying to clear some of this information up. But there's still inconsistencies in what's going on and why in a situation like this, Daniel. And this is usually tragedy brings people together. What is going on in your relationship with Malaya that would lead her to just packing up and leaving? There's a lot of allegations that there may be some drug use, You know, there's allegations coming from the grandmother that the house was unkept. You know, and we don't know. So when we don't know, it makes a lot of people guess to what's going on. And, you know, I'm sure everybody's not right. And I think you guys hold the answers
Daniel,
to
it's
this.
about those babies, not you. Too many open ends and stories not adding up.
Yeah. And I mean, and we'll give you an opportunity to speak your mind here, you know, and I'm not going to sugarcoat, you know, my suspicion of you. You know, I'm definitely not going to do that. But I will give you the opportunity to maybe explain some of it to me. I would like to know what happened the day before Jack and Lily went missing, because y'all never mention that. You don't mention, and y'all don't mention giving the kids baths. Y'all mention giving the kids dinner, brushing their teeth, putting them to bed. It's like y'all start the story, but there's so many open ends to it. And it don't make a lot of sense to me, because it seems like you and Malaya would come together for the benefit of these kids, but yet y'all have splintered. And that, to me, that's like, listen, I don't want to attack Malaya, but we have a lot of mothers in here right now. Okay. There's 1,300 people, Daniel. And a lot of these mothers say they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't handle it this way. Now, I'm not a woman. You ain't a woman. I can't tell you how a woman's going to act. If I could figure one out, I'd be amazed, right? It's hard to figure women out. But why is she doing what she's doing? Is she going through postpartum depression? Like a lot of people are speculating that she's been depressed. Was y'all on the rocks and she was trying to get out? You know, because there's a lot of people alleging a lot of things. And I guess the more you come out and speak and clear up the relationship of what's going on, I think the more information we got, the less we have to speculate. That's what I'm trying to say. She's in too deep. Oh God, this chat is moving so fast. She's in too deep, bro. Read the damn chat, right? Well, I got the phone line open. You're more than well to call. I miss stuff in the chat, Daniel. I don't know if you ever watch my channel, but I hardly ever read what's in the chat. Daniel, not cool that she keeps your baby from you. And another thing, why have you lost custody of Meadow? Okay, I'm going to try to read the chat, everything in the chat now, okay? I'm going to put it down here so I can read everything, and I'll try to. Dolly.
I'll put it down here.
Hello?
Dolly,
Yes.
you got to pay attention to your chat.
I know. I didn't realize I was just talking and you know.
Oh, yeah, you way behind here. You're
Okay.
way behind. This is Lady Allen.
Okay.
All right, so.
He said that
Yeah,
Malaya
Daniel's
is on the
like
run.
totally chatting it up here with you in chat. He said that Malaya is on the run.
That is crazy, because that's what the other caller said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And okay.
He said
Okay.
that he doesn't want to call. He doesn't want to call in. I can understand that. But
Okay.
he's definitely putting out some. He says, "I'm going to break the internet right now."
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna pin everything he says so I don't miss anything. Okay.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
That's what I did. That's how I was catching it.
I appreciate you calling. All right.
All right. Cool.
All right. Peace. She broke CPS protocol, and now Meadow is at risk of being taken. She's supposed to have 24-hour supervisions. So that dude has to be kin to Malaya. That's exactly what he said. And how did he know he took off? He said he was cousins with Patty or somebody. Supervised protocol is broken by CPS. Okay, I'm just going to go through and pin his comments. I'm sorry I missed your stuff. Like I said, I usually wear glasses and I'm a little far away from the screen. So we heard this earlier today. I thought it was just, I didn't know if it was a troll or what, but the person called in and said, yeah, Malaya left her mom's house. She has Meadow. She's broke CPS orders. Why? That guy is 100% truth. Okay. All right. Damn. Okay, because I was thinking he was telling the truth. I was like, because he seemed to know things, and he seemed to be pretty much on your side. I mean, he said that you was a good guy. He said that you didn't do drugs. He said that Malaya is his family, but there's things going on in the family that he really can't say because family members were going to get mad at him. And Dolly, stop yapping and stop telling the truth. Well, stop posting shit so I can see what he says. Okay, how about that? Okay, and then I'll see what he says. If 75 people don't post at the same time, all truth. Okay, Daniel, let me ask you this. When you was there, you were there. Is there any way Malaya could have had anything to do with this? Is there a time frame where she could have did something with these kids and you not know? Because the way you say it, it sounds like you was awake and she was asleep. But you would know if she's doing these things. You would know if she did something with the kids. Yes, there is a time that she would have been awake. Okay. Why? Let me ask you this. Was y'all fighting prior to this? I hate to meddle into your relationship, but I'm just trying to understand why she would act these ways. Was y'all having any domestic disputes between the time that no fight? Huh. Okay, so you wasn't fighting, everything's good, but there is a time frame that you was asleep. But you say when you woke up, she was in bed right beside you. How long do you think you were asleep? Did you lay down for 10 minutes? Did you lay down for 2 hours and you woke up and she's beside you? Do you have any clue how long when you went to sleep after hearing Meadow in the kitchen and you went to sleep? How long do you think you were asleep? I know for a fact this, Daniel. It links to his YouTube channel. Okay, the one that he does the Pokemon reviews on. I checked. Okay, so it's definitely 100% Daniel or somebody on Daniel's YouTube account. Meadow is our baby. She was never in the kitchen. That's what I mean. I mean, Lily was in the kitchen with Jack, and you heard them. And then you laid back down and you went to sleep. When you woke up, you said Malaya was beside you. How long had you slept when you laid down? Okay, could she have woke up, got up, done something, laid back down in the bed with you is pretty much my question. And why did Lily come into the room? People were asking. How are you going to miss the call? I didn't miss the call. He hasn't called in. Minutes, maybe 20. Does Malaya drive? Does she have a car? Is there any way she could have got up and you not notice her gone in maybe that 20 minutes that you was asleep? Because that don't leave very much time. Here, we're going to block you. We're not in the Karen Reed mood right this minute. And Malaya is on the run with Meadow, breaking CPS orders. Put the number back up, Dolly. The number's been up. But I just wanted to make sure I pinned all his comments so I didn't miss any of them. Her car was towed after she left. Now let me ask you this. Those text messages with the girls from Canada, was that you? Okay, the Canadian YouTube channel with the two girls. All right. Okay, it's perfect. It's perfectly fine. If you want to call in and you don't want to give your number out or anything like that, you can always block your number. I'll answer unknown callers. It don't matter to me. Please stop chatting and let Daniel chat. Yeah, guys, if you want to see what he says, give him a few minutes to reply, and that way we see his chat, because right now there's 1,500 people in the room. I don't have slow-mo on because I don't want to slow-mo him, and I don't want to miss what he's saying. Daniel says he woke up when she got back into bed. So at some point, she was up. So there is the possibility that she had the means to do something with the kids. How do we know his account wasn't hacked? We don't know, but I can guarantee you this, it is him. I can pull it up and show it to you guys that it's him, what account that it goes to. I just did it. Right here's his account. This is the account that it leaked back to, that screen name. Give me 1 second, because every time I do that, I can't see the chat. Here's his account that it linked to, and this is the one that is him giving his, his reviews of the Pokemon. And we knew this was his account anyway. So when I went in, he had his name in the chat. As a creator, I can go to your page. Okay, so if you think you control, I check. So I checked, and this is the page that came up, and this is his page. So whoever it is on his page. Now listen, if you believe, here's the thing about this, is I can tell you love Malaya, right? I think we all know that. We've discussed that before. Now, if you're covering for her, right? She's not doing the same thing for you, right? She's letting you take a lot of the blunt of this. If she's done this, right? I think you need to talk, and according to those messages that were with the Canadian girls, it sounds like you want to, that you want to open up and you want to share this with the world, right? And I can understand, like, I wouldn't want to be in your situation where everybody thought that I done hurt some kids. Okay, it's probably a terrible place to be, and she's letting you go through this. I hate to say that. You may love her to death, but what she's doing to you is terrible. I'm going to take heat for this. RCM will be on my back. I can understand that, Daniel. Listen, we don't want to get you in no trouble, right? But we just feel like you're holding back a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah. I can understand you love this woman with all your heart. I can tell. I'm a man. I know a broken-hearted man when I see one. I do. And I can understand it. You've been with this girl for 3 years. Okay. Y'all have a beautiful child together, all this, and she's letting you take the heat like this, right? And you have said nothing but good things about her. That's how I know you love your woman, your wife, common law wife, and you have a beautiful child with her. And I can understand you don't want to destroy that. But at this point, I don't know if things can ever go back to the way they were. Much as you want that, I can understand that, right? Listen, I have a baby. Baby mama was crazy as shit, right? I've been in that situation, and I just don't know if
was the text message true or false.
I just know that it will be super hard. I'm not saying it's impossible to go back to what it was. But I just don't know if that's going to happen, right? And I know you're battling with the mother. I called her today. She heard my voice. She hung up. Wow. And listen, 3 years, Daniel, 3 years. This one, and you have a daughter with her, right? 19-month-old daughter. I'm not quite sure. How can she just do you like this? Right? Is there something she's accusing you of? I ain't saying that you done it, but is there something that she's accusing you of? This, why all of a sudden is the mother that bad where the mother just hates your ass? Let me tell you this. My baby's mama, she hated me, right? My baby mama, that woman hated my guts. Her name's Donna. The first day she met me, she was mean to me. Like, never liked me, just thought I was a piece of shit for no reason, right? So I know how the mama can be. My baby's mama does. I thought my baby mama was crazy. Her mama was even crazier, okay? So let me tell you this. I know about the crazy mother-in-law firsthand. There's somewhere in the puzzle we're missing some pieces, though. I got interrogated first date. I think I got insulted the first time I visited my baby's mama. And she lived in this little trailer in North Carolina. And we went over and she said some mean shit to me. I had never met this lady. And all I know is me and my baby mama got together young. And she put her daughter out young. Like, kicked her out the fucking house. And she was like couch surfing when I met her. Right? And so I know about the crazy mama, and I'm thinking, this lady's being mean to me, and I provide really well for my family. Now she's not mean to me, right? She don't like me, but she ain't mean to me anymore because my kid's grown and all that stuff, right? But she don't like me. And I can get that you're in a situation where this woman don't like you, and she may be telling your girl things or encouraging her not to talk to you. And let me ask you this, Daniel, how do you know that Malaya has ran off with Meadow? Yeah, you have a CPS appointment tomorrow. What they're going to say now about Malaya not being supervised. I mean, Father's Day just passed. You're not able to see your child. I know you said you was looking forward to having those supervised visits. And here's the thing. I know the internet has speculated that you're guilty. Okay. I'm suspicious of you, right? But there's no proof that you did anything. None. Right? I don't understand why you would have to have supervised visitation. That's just as much your child as Malaya's. You haven't been arrested. Okay. You can listen. I'm suspicious of shit, right? That don't mean that I don't have my rights to do. I ain't been convicted. I ain't been arrested for nothing. And neither have you. To do this to you, right? And allegedly you ain't done nothing. This is all because of Malaya just leaving and taking the kid. I can understand if the police may have been accusing you of something, but the police haven't even accused you of anything. Just the internet. Okay. And listen, Daniel, nothing personal against you. The internet accuses everybody. Okay. We accuse everybody. Everybody's guilty, right? On this channel, everybody's guilty. Everybody did it. All right. With true crime, we believe everybody did it. That's just how we are until the truth comes out. We just think everybody did it. We live in a crazy world. A lot of people do crazy things. It's nothing personally against you. It's just that when crimes happen around here, we are the parents, right? Because a lot of these cases that come out, it is the parents. And it may not be the case with you, right? Well, I don't know. But that is the case a lot of the time. And that's why the internet acts the way it does. Dolly asked for you all to stop chatting. Well, just give him time to, to respond. Let's hear what he has to say. I think, these people know the most. Daniel and Malaya, they're going to know the most. And, he has a CPS meeting, and now Malaya is on the run. Yes, I definitely believe that Malaya and her mother, I'm praying to God. He said that caller was true. Dolly.
Sally, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that it's possible that, okay, so the cousin of Daniel, she said that the mother of Malaya was very possessive and controlling. So do you think that it's possible that, okay, say the grandmother drove up, the kids were outside, and she was like, hey, they were like, it's grandma, and got in the car with grandma, and grandma took them off and maybe hid them?
Well, I mean, statistically, most abductions are not by somebody that's familiar with the family or family, statistically, Yeah. And of course, kids are going to more likely go with somebody that they know. But Daniel said in the beginning that the kids would talk to anybody and go with anybody, which is a little odd, right? Because we teach kids stranger danger and stuff like that. So I don't know, but yeah, most likely, usually when there's a kidnapping that does occur, it's either parental, which means, a mother or father, or it's somebody that is familiar with the family, which could be like, even in Elizabeth Smart, it was the lawn care person the dad had hired. He went into the house and kidnapped Elizabeth Smart. It's usually something like that occurs. So, but in this with Daniel, we have a lot of confusion going on inside the family, right? So could it be family related? I mean, yeah, it's possible. But let's hear from Daniel, and I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, I was just wondering. I just had that question. It's been lingering, and I was just wondering, maybe the grandma pulled up, maybe the kids got in the car, maybe she took the kids and hid them, and then maybe they don't know anything about it. I don't know. It's really confusing to me as well.
Yeah.
But
that's the mystery of it. I think
she's the mom is very controlling. I mean, the mother of Malaya seems to be very controlling, because she told the one girl, she blocked the number for the cousin, and then the cousin called, I think, from another number.
Yeah.
And then she was like, as soon as she answered, she goes, I seen that it was Malaya's mother, so I just hung up. I didn't even say anything. So I'm just wondering if Malaya's mother is just so controlling, and Malaya is very afraid of her mother. And maybe that's why. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just asking questions. I'm confused.
All right.
But thank you.
All right, peace.
All right, bye-bye.
And Daniel saying Malaya is on the run from the RCMP. What don't you get, bro? I mean, it's looking why. The only reason I can think she'd be running scared is she's done something wrong. Okay. That's the only reason, Daniel, I would think that she would be on the run. Are you thinking the same thing that I'm thinking? Maybe let me am I asking the right questions? Okay. Remember Seth Rogers told me, he said, you ain't asking the right questions. Now, are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking? That she knows the whereabouts of Jack and Lily, and she's in fear of the RCMP, and she's ran out of fear. That's sad and stupid for Malaya to do. I think she's definitely making the situation worse. That's for sure. Ask the right questions, Dolly. Okay. I got you guys. I mean, the only reason I could think of she would want to run is she has some knowledge of what's going down, and she believes that the police are closing in on her, and she wants to get the hell out of Dodge. And if she is running, yes, she is terrified that investigators are close. Okay, so we're on the same page then. The family is thinking Malaya has something to do with it, and her family is thinking you have something to do with it. All right, this is where it gets into like but you're not running. Okay, that's the thing, Daniel. You have been open. You have been giving interviews. You have been out there allegedly searching, and you're willing to speak on it. And that says a lot. That says a lot, because usually guilty people, they try to duck and dodge things. They don't usually confront the situation. Now, we've seen situations like this before with Katie Proudfoot in Tennessee and here in the States. And this woman did basically what Malaya has done. She basically took off and left her kids, right? Well, her kid. She didn't have kids. She had a kid. And you have definitely been consistent on giving interviews and speaking out for the kids when nobody else has. Now, we're still a little skeptical because we've seen people come out and, do news interviews and things like that and be responsible. Just because, you're talking, a lot of times don't mean that you're innocent. But when we got one parent that's running and the other parent's like, look, I'm right here, I'll answer your questions, that speaks volumes for you. Now, the situation with your child, that is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. Dolly, read this other message. Okay, I'm trying to keep up the best I can, guys. All right, don't punish me. I'm going back now. I'm going back. Yeah, who's hiding her family? So, let me ask you this, Daniel. Let me ask you this. I know who you think's done something. Do you think these kids are okay? I hate to ask you like that, just point blank. Do you think these kids are okay, or are these kids in danger? Is it a case where she's may have hid these kids, or do you think this is a case where she may have hurt these kids? I think that's the most important thing. Where's your head at right now with it? Does Canada have Amber Alerts? Yes. Kids are alive. Okay, so everybody passed a polygraph, and the polygraph was on the deaf. Everyone passed. So he believes the children are alive. Okay, well, that I'll be honest with you, that is great to hear. Now, I know this is hypothetical. Would she have any reason to hide the kids? Right? Like, I know there's the baby daddy, but he don't seem to be involved in the kid's life. And it seems like you've been there and potty trained these kids and done so much for these kids. Is there a reason that she would possibly hide these kids for some other reason? Because he says that everybody passed the polygraph on the kids not being deceased. So that's how he knows the kids are alive. Okay, if it is a troll, it is somebody trolling from Daniel's account, right? I have his account pulled up right here, guys. It is him, okay? This is his page, right? All his videos for the past 5 years are here. This is Daniel in the chat room, okay? Positive. This is where his name led me to. And we spoke on his channel before, and collecting the cards and giving the reviews on the cards. So it is definitely him. Or unless somebody has access to his account, which I don't think they do. Okay. This is a 5-year-old account. Or even older. Both family members were there. But one says they were asleep and the other one could have got up. Dolly Vision, ask Daniel to come on up panel and don't show his face. You could do that too. Now, if you want to call and you want to come up on panel and not show your face, that's just like calling though. I mean, it's no different. But this is the invite link. Okay. And this brings you up here live with me. I mean, if you want to show your face, you're more than welcome to show your face. If you don't want to, I don't want to force you to do anything or get you in any trouble. We're glad that you're here trying to clear things up. Okay. I think that's a good thing to do. Try to get ahead of some of this speculation. Because listen, when we don't have answers, we got to fill the blanks in. Right. And that's just the nature of the internet. And the internet can be absolutely brutal. Facts. But I'm hoping that you guys are 100% right and these kids are alive and they've been hidden somewhere with a relative or a friend or something like that. I much rather see it in that way and then it end tragically. I pray. Yes. Throw your little prayer signs up, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, look, a miracle happened today. Okay. We just need another one. All right. We need a lot of them, to be honest with you, but it'd be nice to see. And I just wish this case was getting bigger attention in the States because we're not getting a lot of media attention here. And that's why it's so important to keep pushing this, to stay in front of the media as much as you can. Because if you don't talk about it, nobody will talk about it. And quickly, a case can go cold and this be forgotten. Like, quick. If he had an attorney, certainly would not be chatting on Dolly Vision. No shade intended, Jimmy. I don't know. We've had people call up here. Seth had attorneys. He had private investigators, everything. He was right up here talking, you know. Don and Candace, they had a PR person and an attorney. Well, I don't think they had an attorney, but they were right up here talking, you know. So, and you got to think about it. The history of it, the channel is every case we've talked about, except for Maddie Soto. Miracles happened today, you said. Man, my daughter is missing now too. I pray to God, you know, if this is a situation where these kids are in danger, that's the biggest concern. Okay. Now, if she's hidden the kids and it's just going to take a little time to figure out what's going on, is totally different. And you're right, your daughter's missing, and hopefully they track her down. And I don't know why she would make the situation worse for herself. That is crazy, right? Especially if the police, you know, suspect you and then you're going to take off. They're really going to think you had something to do with it. Have you tried to apply for custody of Meadow? Have you tried to go the legal route to get your daughter away from her? Did Malaya's mom take a polygraph? I don't know. He would have to answer that. Why isn't there any Amber Alert? Because there was no signs of abduction. That's why they didn't issue the Amber Alert. There's certain criteria that has to meet before an Amber Alert could go out. They sent out a alert through Canada, but it wasn't, you know, in the area that they were in, but not a national alert. He needs a lawyer for real. I would say, if you ain't did nothing, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. Now, if you did something, you probably got something to worry about. But if you didn't, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's really all you can do. Yeah, if she wanted to leave him, why hide the kids? I don't know why. Why do people do anything? Why did that woman leave the baby on the side of the road Sunday? Why? Women are hard to figure out why they do stuff, right? I'm a man. As soon as I can figure out how to figure out a woman, I'm going to be a genius, I think, right? The woman species is hard to figure out for a man because we're just big dum-dums, right? So why she would do things, there may not be no reason to do it, and she did it, you know? Could she hide out on a reservation? I mean, we had a lot of callers saying when the kids, you know, the lawyer was from the reservation that the kids probably were on the reservation. But I just can't understand any reason why she would hide the kids. Now, I can understand that she's fighting with Daniel and she would hide Meadow from Daniel. But why would she hide Jack and Lily from Daniel when he's not the biological father of the child? That's when it's a little like, it don't make sense. But listen, sometimes women do things that don't make sense. But the good news is they're believing these children are alive. And Malaya apparently knows something. And this is what I'm getting from, you know, what clues he can give us in the chat and what the caller said, that they believe these kids are hid and been handed off and the kids are okay. I mean, to me, that's better than thinking the worst. The polygraph was about death and everyone passed. Yes. Somebody asked, does she have postpartum? Was she depressed? Yeah, I think that's a good question. Was she going through some type of depression? Anything like that? Because he says they wasn't fighting. Do we got Malaya in here anywhere? No, we don't have Malaya in here. She if she ain't talking to the cameras, she definitely ain't talking to YouTube. All right. Dolly. Yeah.
Mab.
What's up, Mab?
I just want to talk to this Daniel fella for a second.
Okay.
Daniel, the more you talk, the faster those kids are going to be found.
Yes.
The more the more you let the RCMP and the investigators shut your mouth, I don't know how that's going to help anything.
Yeah. I mean, if they're out there, we need to get the word out so people start looking for these kids.
Yeah.
And where, if we had some clues to where.
He just said that she told RNCP she'll feel safe with me. And I know it was 5 minutes in the ambulance for a private conversation with her mother. And I remember that after talking to her mother for 5 minutes, everything changed. Different person.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, my theory was from the beginning that Malaya's mother had something to do with this or knows something.
Malaya wanted out and she's playing this with her mother. But the hiding the kids, Mab, that's the part that is like.
You can get out of a relationship without hiding kids.
I agree.
Like that.
And if she didn't want to be with him, I mean, all she had to do was take protective orders against him and just leave. That I don't understand the hiding the kids either, but they seem to think that the kids are hidden, and that's a lot better than thinking, something bad.
Daniel doesn't come off to me.
They never thought it through, is what he said.
Yeah, they never thought it through. Daniel just doesn't seem to come off to me as a killer. You know what I'm saying?
And, I mean, she had to make up an excuse like that to leave instead of just leaving. I mean, I ain't saying it can't happen. It's possible that she was like, okay, we're going to fake this big incident. And then once it got out of control, it's once you say it, there's no putting it back in your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Daniel just said they're in too deep. She's in too deep.
She's in too deep. Oh.
Yeah.
But at this point, she's just going to perpetuate the lie and make it worse and worse on herself and her family. And Meadow and the
everybody
kids,
said-
yeah, everybody around her is going through hell because of what she's doing.
Yeah, and this case is just going to get more and more traction until it blows up more and more and more. That's why my advice
is to keep talking.
Yeah, the louder you are, Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
the better it's going to be for you, and the better it's going to be for Jack and Lily and Meadow.
I'm taking the heat.
And I hope she hasn't run off with Meadow, because that happened to me before, Daniel, and it is not fun.
Yeah, I had to fight for custody of my daughter too. So I've been right there in that position. And my baby,
I mean, mine.
Me and my baby's mama, we used to argue like cats and dogs, like oil and water. We got along great in the beginning, but then something changed, and then we just couldn't get along to save our lives. And we battled through court and everything. And then my daughter got old enough to where she could speak for herself, and then it didn't matter anymore. Now me and my baby's mama, we get along great. So I mean,
my ex and her mother tried to kidnap my kid.
He says he's going to take the heat tomorrow for major crimes tomorrow. Well, if she's ran off, and other people are saying it, okay, other people are calling in here and saying she took off today, then it shouldn't matter that you say it, right? I don't understand why they would want to shut you up, right? If
taking the heat, Daniel, is something you do for kids.
Yeah, I mean, this woman basically is let you get ran over by the bus and hasn't been out here to defend you not one time. She's never one time said, well, Daniel's a great guy. He didn't do nothing to these kids. People stop blaming Daniel. She's never done that, and so she's.
What the hell is she hiding for?
I mean, because she's allegedly she has something to do with or has knowledge of where these kids are.
Darling, me and you in 5 minutes with Malaya and Mama, we find out what was going on.
I think so. I mean, something's not adding up. That is for sure. And if it's on the mother and the grandmother's end, and this is one of these weird custody situations, or this lady's not all there, so she's hiding her kids for some unknown reason, then it needs to be figured out. But if the kids are okay, that's the biggest thing, that these kids are safe. If they're not safe, this is where it gets a little sketchy. And if these kids have disappeared, how do we know, like he said, that he's worried about that Meadow don't disappear? They may find her and Meadow not be with her.
Well, when the pressure starts mounting on Malaya, what if she does something stupid? I mean, really stupid.
Okay, Daniel's saying she couldn't stay around me because she would crack and I would find out.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, like, I don't think my baby's mama could lie to me either and me not know she's lying.
I can look in your eyes and tell you if you're lying or not.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand what he's saying. If she would have stayed around me, I would have knew she was lying. She would have broke.
I've dealt with enough.
Let me ask you this, Daniel. Was Malaya good with the kids? Was she a good mother? Was she a good mother to Meadow? And
ever since Meadow was born, the other two kids have been kind of pushed to the side.
That is crazy. And we ran into a situation like this before, where the dude was getting all the heat and being blamed. Remember Leilani Simon, and she was blaming Danny.
Oh yeah,
Danny. She was blaming Danny, and she told me, she said Danny did it.
Another Danny.
Yeah, another Danny. Yeah. A lot of Danny's getting blamed in the last couple of years, right? Meadow was a dime in her eyes. Yeah, a lot of times that is the case, when you have a new baby. I don't know, I only ever have one kid.
And sometimes the mother associates the other two kids somewhat with that father.
Yeah, with that father. That's what I was about to say. That was the situation that was going on with Leilani. She had that disconnect because she didn't like the other baby's father. So, and then she was blaming Danny, and Danny was a good guy. Right? Everybody thought Danny was a piece of shit. Come to find out in court, Danny was a good dude. Right?
Yeah. My dad married this woman that had two kids, when I was like 12. And it was like they were their own little family, and the other 4 kids got pushed out. So I've been down this road.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to be a kid in that situation. And it's not good.
Yeah. And Leilani was quick to throw Danny under the bus, just like Malaya's letting Daniel get ran over by the bus. But I think the best thing to do is tell the truth. If you're suspicious of this lady, let the media know, let everybody know. I think truly that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, the more you talk Daniel, the better it's going to be for those kids.
I told investigator if she loses Meadow, she will commit. Oh my God.
See?
Yeah.
She's going to do something stupid.
So here's the thing. If she's ran and she has 2 kids missing, Daniel, like we know what's going to happen, right? When they catch her, they're going to take Meadow. That her running was probably the stupidest thing she could humanly done, right? I mean, I think she's made it so much worse for herself. And if they didn't suspect her before, they're really going to suspect her now. Okay.
You know, she does some self-harm crap and, thinks that if I can't have her, nobody can have her. I mean, that's just unthinkable.
Well, hopefully something like
that's what I'm saying.
We just got to pray for the best, pray for the best that whatever she's done, they find her immediately, and that, that this kid is placed where it's safe, let this stuff get figured out, and I know you have a big family, Daniel. This stuff has to get figured out, and if she's doing all this, then I feel like she must know what happened to these kids. Definitely. And it don't take long. I mean, Daniel says he was asleep for 20 minutes. And when he woke up, it was quiet. And she had laid back down in the bed beside him.
She had laid back down in the bed.
I guess that's what they're saying is he woke up when she laid back down.
Malaya.
Yeah. And now she's on the run.
Anyway, my message to Daniel is talk more.
Yeah. And just if you're telling the truth, which only you know, right? I don't know if you're telling the truth or not. Only you know. If you're telling the truth, I'd be saying it loud and proud and be saying it to anybody that would listen. And the first one to talk is the first one to walk. If she's had something to do with this, you don't, and hopefully it ain't nothing bad, but if she's done something bad, you don't want to get tied into this and end up in jail or prison or anything like that. And they
can't arrest you for talking.
Yeah, they can't arrest you for talking. They're going to get mad at you. And just like, remember when Seth Rogers said, he said, I'm going to catch a lot of hell for what I'm about to say, but I'm a grown man and I'll say what I want to say and I'll deal with it tomorrow. And he let out about he believed Katie was responsible for the disappearance of his child, and he just had to take the heat,
Yeah. All right, Dolly.
All right, you be good, man.
All right, brother.
All right, peace. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, guys, Daniel Malaya's common law marriage husband, I guess that's what they call it in Canada, or her old man, that's what I call it. Meadows' daddy is in the chat room. And for anybody that says, how do I know it's Daniel? I want to explain this to you again. I can click on the name and it takes me to your website. And when I click on his name, it takes me to Daniel's website. Okay. And this is his page where he did the Pokemon reviews. Okay. And that's clicking right off the name that's in the chat. So it is him or it is somebody using his account, which I don't think anybody's hacked them and just randomly came in here and said the exact same thing that Malaya's family called in today and said. Okay. We heard about this morning on our first show when Malaya's family called in, her cousin, and said Malaya's on the run. She took off from her mother's house. She got Meadow and she left. She's broke CPS that she's supposed to be supervised, and she's gone. Now, how did that caller know that? Okay, and then you got Daniel coming in, and he's saying the exact same thing that the caller that's part of Malaya's family said. That's too coincidental. And I believe, he asked me my opinion, I believe this woman has taken off. She is scared. The police may be closing in, and we know, Tammy, thank you, Tammy, that the police know more than we do. And I'm sure Daniel knows more than we do. And if the kids ain't in the woods and the kids ain't been abducted, these kids are somewhere and somebody has them. There was nobody in the house but Daniel and Malaya. So between those two, somebody knows something. Make sure I ain't missing anything. I don't think Daniel's lying about her running. I think he's being 100% truthful, and I do believe she has taken off. That Malaya is on the run. If it ain't, then this is absolutely crazy. Okay, I don't know who that was. We don't know why women do anything. Why did a woman leave her kid on the side of the road today? It may be something going on with her mentally, postpartum, depression. Who knows exactly why she's doing what she's doing? But this man is out here speaking. He's out here giving interviews. He did pass a lie detector test. He's saying Malaya has taken off. A caller today called in and said Malaya has took off, broke the CPS stuff. How do they know this stuff, right? Unless it's the truth. So I believe that this is 100% him, and I believe he's telling the truth, at least about Malaya running. I can't dive into evidence because it's part of the investigation. Okay. So I know you know more than we do. I know that for a fact. Now here's the thing. Are you going to be, if she ends up in jail, are you going to be able to deal with that? I mean, I know you love your baby mama. Okay. I can tell that by the way you talk about her. When you wasn't worried about people talking about you, but you was more worried about what people said about Malaya because of her mental health, that it wasn't good for her or Meadow. So somewhere in there, it makes it sound like to me that she has some mental health issues. That's just what it sounded like to me, that you were worried about her mental health. And the only reason you would worry about that is because maybe she's had some breaks or cracks in her mental health before. And anybody that's willing to take the blunt for somebody, right? And you have took a lot of the heat for her. It shows me that you still care about this woman, even though she's treating you like shit, not taking your calls, acting the way she is, siding with her mother, but you still care. And just like, you have to tell everything you know, because to be honest, like I said, I don't know if this stuff can go back to the way it was, but the sooner these kids are found, the sooner you can try to figure out what the hell is going on with your relationship. That's what I think. And even if the kids are found, she's making it to be where they may take all the kids, Daniel, get help, get counsel, brother. Yeah, I can understand he can't answer some of the things because it's part of the investigation, but I do know there's things that he knows. I'm sure of that. And the latest news, though, newsflash, Malaya has ran, and I believe him on this because this is coming from Daniel, and this also came from a alleged Malaya family member. Dolly.
What's going on, Dolly?
Hey, this Daniel?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay. Who are you?
It's anonymous.
Anonymous? Okay.
Yes.
What's
I've called in before.
okay? What's going on, Anonymous?
Are we able to veer off topic for a moment, or do we have to stay on topic for the show?
Yeah, if it not tonight, it'd be a bad time to go off topic.
Okay, all right. When are you going live again so that people can freelance?
I got a feeling you want to talk about the Karen Reed case.
Yes.
I knew it. Tomorrow we can chop it up if you want to talk Karen Reed.
All right, I'll do that. Absolutely, I'll respect your show.
Oh,
but
okay.
I like the show tonight. It's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, we want to keep it on track because we want to, hear as much as we can from Daniel. But any other time, we'll shoot the shit on the Karen Reed.
All right, man. You have a good one.
All right, peace. I knew he wanted to talk that case, but right now, let's try to get as much as we can, which I realize we probably got what we can from Daniel right now. And that is the update that Malaya's on the run. Not a good situation. And here's the thing, on the internet, we got 867 likes. You guys, please hit the like button. We need, this awareness out there. We need people at this point looking for Jack and Lily. Okay. We need people looking because, Daniel's in the room. He believes that these children are alive and possibly this family has hid these children. All right. And if that is the case, that means these kids are out there somewhere. If they're on a reservation or they're with a family member's friend or they're somewhere, we need to keep spreading these kids' pictures. You guys need to be vigilant out there, especially in the areas of all the people that are watching from Canada and the surrounding areas in Canada, and especially people close to the borders of Canada, okay, upstate New York and across the top. Because if these kids are out there, somebody's going to slip up, somebody's going to say something, somebody's going to do something, and these kids can be seen and they can be safely brought home. Now, we don't, the more people, we don't want nobody to hurt these kids. So if there is somebody out there that has these children and you're watching this, release these kids, take them somewhere safe before you end up in so much trouble that there's no way out. Okay. Right now, you can be like, I didn't know, and turn the kids over safely and be like, hey, I seen it on the news and I realized I was harboring 2 children that are there's a manhunt for, and here they are. But you don't want to get too deep into this, and why somebody would, do this is completely beyond me. But we definitely need to be sharing these kids' photos. Okay. What's with all the calls? Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Yes.
Hey, I got a question.
Okay.
This kind of goes out to Daniel.
Uh-huh.
Did you read what he just wrote about Bro Malaya's on the run from the RMCP? What don't you get?
Yeah. You're a little behind in the chat. He said that a while back.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Well, these kids deserve justice, so he needs to work with the RMCP, whatever the hell it's called, and help them. And I mean, he doesn't have to come on here, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think the more he talks, the more it's going to help him get people interested in trying to find these kids. If nobody says nothing and the media is not covering it.
Oh yes, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
I will let you go. Daniel, please give them justice. Please. Those kids don't deserve to be out there. All right, I'll let you go, Dolly. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, this is important right here. Her family took 2 of my sweaters when they left, watched them be planted when investigations close in. Okay. Do you think they would try to frame you for something? Okay. Have you spoke with the RCMP and told them that they have took some of your belongings? That way, let's just pray to God there's no tragedy or nothing happens, and they find something that belongs to you there. Have you told the RCMP that they have done this? He's the fall guy. Well, Daniel said he believes the kids are alive. So if they're placed somewhere and they find them and then his sweaters are there, it's going to look like he hid the kids. I think that's what he's referring to. I don't think he's talking about the kids being unalived and his sweaters being there. Because if you was going to do something, why would you leave your sweaters? You know? I mean, most people don't purposely leave evidence. Yes, I told them. That is strange. There's some strange things going on with you, Daniel. Okay. And I'm so glad that you were speaking out about it. And listen, we know this, whatever happens in the dark eventually comes to light, right? So the truth will come out. And, you know, if the truth is this and you innocent completely of this, I will completely apologize to you for thinking you're suspicious. Dolly.
Okay, Dolly, I have a question. My thing is if that's kind of confusing to me. If why 2 children are missing? Why 2 sweaters are missing? So that to me is kind of confusing. So could you ask him that?
Oh, I mean, he can hear you. Maybe he'll answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
Okay, both of the kids are missing. 2 sweaters are missing. I don't know if he wrapped them up in the sweaters, and he's trying to confuse people. I don't know. I'm really confused by all this. So
I mean,
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for him to answer those questions.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Because at first I was thinking the grandmother, but now I'm kind of confused on the whole sweater thing.
Yeah, I mean, these are things he that I'm sure. I don't know.
Is he trying to cover his tracks? Because if they find the children and they are wrapped in his sweaters, is he trying to go?
But my thing is this: why is Malaya running? You would think if Daniel done it, he'd be the one running. And she's not coming out speaking or anything. That ain't really.
Maybe he's trying to cover his tracks. I don't know. I don't know. It's all confusing.
Let's just say he's trying to cover his tracks. Let's just go with that hypothetically. That Daniel's trying to cover his tracks. But why isn't the mother doing anything to bring her kids home? Nothing. What?
I don't know. I'm confused about that too. Because at first I was thinking, okay, maybe the children, maybe she was like, maybe Malaya wanted to leave because the grandmother of the biological father said that she was very sweet and she was very caring and she loved her children. Okay. But she hasn't seen them in a year and a half. I wonder why she hasn't seen them in a year and a half. That's my question about that. Okay. Second of all, I'm thinking, okay, her mother is very controlling. So if her mother is very controlling, is she scared of her mother? And maybe she goes, okay, well, she wants to leave. Malaya wants to leave Daniel. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to pick up the children and you're going to let the children go outside and play. I'm going to pick them up and then I'm going to take them away. Why? I have no idea because they're not his biological children. So that's a little bit confusing.
Okay.
But if she wants just an out, she goes, I'm going to pick up the children and I'm going to take them and I'm going to hide them out. And then you're going to take the baby and we're just going to leave. And then maybe everything's getting kind of
but why would
confusing.
Why would you even call the police? That makes zero sense. But listen, sometimes reality
is a cover up. I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes reality don't make sense. I mean, sometimes reality is stranger than, fiction, but hey, I appreciate you calling. I want to get back to what he said.
But the whole sweater thing's got me a little confused. So I'm going to listen to what he's got to say.
Okay.
But thank you.
All right, peace. So this addresses the sweater right here. he says that they took the sweaters. Let me pull this back up. Man, I'm having some technical issues here. All right, here we go. Now I can see again. That they took the sweaters when he was at the command center because he had to walk back. Okay. And I guess when he got home, he realized that there were some things missing. All right, let me see this. Malaya was scared of her bio dad. Okay. Not so much her mother then, but her bio dad. And I believe he is the native one. Okay. And I've heard some things about her bio dad that he was a little bit a mean guy, and he had some domestic history with fighting with his wife. Now I didn't go into more digging into it than that, but that is what is alleged. He's not her bio father's not the best guy. He's a little bit violent. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything else he said. They needed money. I don't think that this is a situation they needed money, because we haven't seen any GoFundMe's or anything like, the whole Sebastian Rogers situation where there was GoFundMe's and thousands of dollars being raised. Scared of the kids' bio dad. Dolly. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
I was wanting to actually speak directly to Daniel because I know he's listening and watching.
Uh-huh.
All right. Look, Daniel's been telling us from the beginning that she was up at 6:15, 6:18 on contact with the school.
Okay.
And I was wondering if Daniel can actually tell us if he knows what happened between 6:18 and the time they both woke up and looked for the kids.
Uh-huh.
Because if she was up at 6:15 and she woke him up at 8:30, or he woke her up at 8:30, that's 2.5 hours. That's a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe he can answer that. I thought from his text messages that he shared with the Canadian girls that she never called the school.
No, he said she was on email with the school, and the last confirmation that the school sent back to her was 6:18.
Okay, I must have missed that somehow. I must have skipped that somewhere in all of this, because there's so much being said and so many rumors and so many different things that I may have missed that. So if he wants to answer it, we'll give him a chance to answer it. But hey, I appreciate you calling.
All right, thank you.
All right, peace. All right, we got a lot of damn calls coming in, and I understand everybody. This is a huge mystery, and I'm sure everybody has a question that they want Daniel to answer. So many people believe that the answers lie within between Daniel and Malaya. And I can understand that, especially with the behavior of Malaya. It seems odd, to say the least. I think we can agree on that. This mother's grabbed her kid and she's done ran in a situation where she's already ran once. 6, 17, and 16 marked absent. So she did hit the school up and mark him for absent.
You can turn chat off and only allow Daniel.
I do not know how to do that, Jay. I do not know how to turn the chat off and only allow Daniel to talk. I don't know how to do that. But if there's something I missed that he says, my mods, just repost, like copy and paste what he says and put red stop signs by it, and I will see it for sure. I seen what he said right there, 6:17 and 6:18. Y'all help me out here so I don't miss it. We work together as a team. We may get more information about what's going on, or a little bit better understanding here tonight. But I guess the manhunt starts for Malaya and Meadow and the kids. If the kids are out there, and like I said, Daniel and other family members believe that these kids are out there, it's spreading awareness. So now you're lying to these followers and you know this. Why? What am I lying to? Am I lying or are you saying somebody else is lying? TNT. Because I don't have no reason to lie about anything. Misunderstood said TNT, you best calm down 100%. Now the cat's out the bag. Will they? Listen, he ain't even the first to say this. Okay? Dolly Vision, Daniel said all the evidence was found by his family. Thank you. See, Jenny, that's what I want you guys to do. Instead of flooding the thing with comments, this is not Daniel Martell. I just showed you that I clicked on his name and it took me right here. So TNT, if you're saying I'm lying, I will kick you slam out this fucking room. I have no reason to lie. This is where the name took me to. Okay? How would he know Malaya's on the run? How did the caller today know Malaya was on the run? Why would I make this shit up? Okay? I ain't T-Rev. Okay? So don't come in here and say I'm doing something. Everybody is here with me. I didn't even know the man was in the damn room. So if you don't like it and you don't believe it, just get out. Okay? It's easy. And this information is not coming from me. You don't hear me up here saying, hey, I know this woman's on the run. You know what I'm saying? This is what these people are saying. She broke unsupervised vision protocol by CPS. Meadow will be taken. All right. It's simple as that. And yeah, I don't have any reason to make anything up. I can go right here, spam him. Okay. Like that must be an old comment, but this right here, go to channel. Right. Do I need to show y'all this? Right. But it goes right to his channel. So every time I click on it, it goes right to his channel. All right. So it is Daniel. This is the channel that it goes to. I don't want to have to keep explaining that to people. You don't have to believe it. I'm not forcing you to believe anything. We're giving the man the opportunity to talk. And don't come in here messing that up. We believe you, Dolly. I know you do. I mean, it's coming from his account. That's all I can say. If it's him, I believe it's him because he's saying exactly what the caller said that they were cousins of Malaya, that something's going on inside their family and that he was going to catch a bunch of hell from the family today and he was going to stir up a hornet's nest and that he did that and that he found out that Malaya had broke the CPS and she had took off from her mom's house. If you watch the stream from earlier today, that's what was said. Okay. And then we get Daniel coming in here and I click on his name and it takes me to this page right here, which is clearly from 5 years ago. And it is him. Okay. So that's the proof I got that it's him. Dolly, read his last comment. Okay. All right, let me, because we got to slow down on the comments, guys, because if y'all want to hear what he has to say, y'all making me miss it because it's going so fast that I'm not seeing everything he says. Right here, I know the guy that said she was on the run. I was the one that told investigators. Okay. All right, I got you that time. Let me get back down to the bottom of the chat so I don't miss anything else. Now, if you don't believe it, I'm not forcing you to believe anything, right? It's up to you guys. I just find it coincidental that multiple people have said this, and now we're in this situation. Now, Daniel, what did the RCMP say to you when you told them Malaya had took off? And how did you know she's not how do y'all know she's not at her mom's? How does everybody know this? Is it leaking through the family? How do y'all know she's not there? I was on the live when the cousin called in. Dolly's not lying. Thank you, Jessica. Chat. You missed the one before that too. I told y'all just to copy it and paste it and put stop signs by it. Okay. How many mods do I got in the channel tonight? Do for the babies. I'm going to need a energy drink. LOL. Family called her. She answered while driving according to, okay. Chat, please. All right. Y'all stop chatting a little bit. Y'all can be chatty. Once he's done talking, you guys can say everything you want to say. Okay. Let's give him a chance to explain some things. That way we know what direction to go in. Can't copy on your phone. Okay. She was allowed custody as long as she was supervised at her mother's house. And again, I know CPS can remove custody. Okay. I did stop signs, but his last comment, and I'm not a mod, LOL. I tried, Dolly. Okay, well, everybody do that, right? Let's be more worried about what he says than what just random say, because right now we have a way to get information, and let's get the information from the actual source. That's the best place to get the information. He says he doesn't want to call in, that he's going to get a little bit of heat from the criminal investigation unit tomorrow. And I like to know what they said when and how that everybody knows. She's not mom's. I tried calling investigators a few hours later, still no answer back. Huh. Okay. So she's not at mom's. Wow. That's allow only Daniel's chat. I don't know how to do that. Okay. I don't know how to do that. Now I could mod them up and then put it on mods only, or members only, and he would still be able to talk. She's running, trying to get kids back. Make him a member. I would have to mod him. As a matter of fact, that way does my mods pop up with a ranch up here? Let me see. Will it make it easier for me to see him? Give me a second. I'm going to go in and mod him up. That way we can at least see when he talks. And then I'm going to put it on members, and he should be able to talk, and that'll cut out some of the chatting. Right here. Add as a moderator. Standard mod. Save. And let me go here. Edit. Customize. I hate to do this to you guys. But we're going to go to members. So that way we can keep up with what he's saying. All right. Now, only the members can talk. And Daniel, because he's a mod. Turtle Gang, glad you're here. So this should make it easier for me to see his comments. Okay. Good. Okay. Sage, help me out here a little bit with everything. That'll control the chat and slow the chat down a lot. I should have did that in the very beginning and just modded them up and membered the chat. That way everything is not flying a million miles an hour on me, and I'm not missing everything he said. But I will be able to go back and rewatch this video and definitely read everything he said, and if I missed anything. I'm watching. So she's not at the house. She's took off with Meadow, and right now Daniel says he's concerned about the well-being of Meadow, and he believes that the kids are alive, that everybody passed a lie detector test, and yeah, but he's not a member. He's a mod, so it don't matter. He don't have to be a member if he's a mod, right? I'm right about that, right? Hey, Daniel, please leave a message in the chat, okay, real fast, so we know that you're able to talk, because we modded you up, and I think as a mod, you don't have to be a member, okay? So if you're a mod, you're good to go. So we're going to need you to say something. If not, I got to open it back up. So let's see if he is able to say anything, because as with a mod branch, he shouldn't have to be a member. He's got to be a member. I didn't think so. I thought he just had to be a mod. Okay. Bronx in the house. Maybe he does have to be a member. If Daniel, if you can say something, just say anything in the chat. Just be like, hello, I'm here. There's a little delay, so we'll give it a minute. And if not, well, that didn't work. Yeah, he's here right there. Yep. Daniel's in here. All right. We got him. So that way, if we have any questions for you, we're able to see. We slowed the chat and then made it where it's members, so there ain't as many people. I still think we got like 1,000 members here, somewhere 800, something like that. So it's still a lot of people, but not as many as it was. So what is your meeting with the crime unit, RCM, major crime? What is that about tomorrow? Can you tell us that? I know you said you're supposed to speak with them tomorrow. Does it have anything to do with the investigation or the behavior of Malaya? Okay. Please limit your typing, members. Thank you, Sage. So has the RCMP told you not to discuss this? Or is it one of those situations where they said just don't give out any confidential information? Like there's certain things they don't want you saying to the media or the press. Because I know they'll usually tell you not to say nothing that's going to hinder the investigation. And I'm pretty sure they don't want you pointing the fingers. But at this point, what can you do when you got everybody blaming you and yet Malaya's doing the things she's doing? No, it's CPS that you're meeting with tomorrow. Okay. All right. Now, is there any chance that they will give you custody of Meadow if she breaks this order? And is there a reason why? I mean, I hate to ask you this. Why won't they? Why do you have to have supervised visitations with Meadow? Granted, supervised visits with Meadow. Okay. But why can't you see Meadow by yourself? That's one of those things I don't get. Like, you know, if you haven't been charged with anything and you haven't done anything, why does your visits with Meadow have to be supervised? You're the father of Meadow. No evidence can be given out. Okay. I can understand that, Daniel. No evidence can be given out. Well, I guess a little bit of that leaked in the in that news report you just did with, you know, the blanket and the boot print on that situation. Let me ask you this. The boot print and the blanket, when did you find that? Like, how long had they been gone when you found the boot print and the blanket? Now, I do know you said there were some boot prints about 10 feet away from the back sliding glass door, but when did you find the boot print that was near the blanket? And exactly where was that at in proximity to your house? Her family made shit up to the CPS. I knew that. I knew. I don't know what they accused you of, but I knew they were accusing you of something. Okay. Now, hopefully, it ain't nothing too terribly, terribly bad. But I knew that. I knew that. I was thinking, okay, if they're giving him supervised visitations, they're saying he's done something, because they wouldn't just do that any other way. Now, if he was charged with something, of course they would, supervise visitations. But I knew it had to be a situation where they were accusing you of something. Okay. Thanks for answering, Daniel. Yes. Her family found him. Her family found the boot prints in the blanket. CPS is dirty around here with dads, Dolly. They're hard to fight. I can understand that. CPS is hard everywhere, and especially in the state I live in. Men around here, you don't usually stand a chance in court. Not where I live at. Okay, you go against a woman in court here, you don't. As a man, you better have a good ass lawyer, and the woman better be a fucking prostitute or something, because you ain't gonna win here in Virginia. It's just terrible. Women run this bitch. I hate to say that, but they do. I mean, it is what it is. So I understand that, and I know it don't take but a few lies to keep you from seeing your kids. I told you I went through custody battles with my baby mama, and y'all see Tiff in the room all the time. But now, things change when kids get older. But for some reason, like we used to fight like pretty bad, not physically, but verbally with each other. And now we just we're like, hey, what's up? But we've been split up for 15 years now, so it's no big deal now. But in the beginning, it was like, I ain't gonna lie, it was like World War III, without the physicalness, right? Just verbal, being mean to each other. And not just her, but me being an asshole too. If you get two assholes together, it's never good, So she gave me a hard time about everything, and then until it was over. And then once it was over, it was just like, see you, kid, whenever you want. Yeah, her family found everything and got CPS involved and started a disturbance outside the house. Okay, so when they found this, now we've heard a lot about the disturbance outside the house. Well, rumors and speculation. We heard your cousin speak about it, that her mama was out there, and your mother started arguing with Malaya, and I guess their family, and I guess things escalated from there. Now, these are the things that we're hearing on the internet, but like I said, you can't always believe everything you hear on the internet. So when they found these things, what did they start accusing you like immediately? Like, how did they? Who has blamed you? Okay, I think that's the better question. Who has blamed you for the disappearance of these kids? Has her mother? Did she physically say you did something with the kids? How did you? Because I know you said you wanted to take that lie detector test, not to, to clear up some of the speculation on the internet, but to prove to her side of the family that you had nothing to do with it. Who on her side of the family has been accusing you of things? They yelled, I did it. Malaya's mother yelled that. How much of her family was out there? Was it just her and her mother? Or did she have like uncles and cousins? Or was it just her and her mother was yelling, you did it? Kept saying, I did it. Okay. So they were on it. Like, you did it, you piece of shit. I'm sure there was some name calling in there. I just threw that in, but I'm sure usually when people are accusing you of shit, they're saying things that ain't so pleasant. That he did something to Lily and Jack? Did they specify? Was that just it? You did it. You did it. You did it. Did they give any reason why they thought you did it? Or did it never get to that? And that's strange for, and another question, did Malaya accuse you of doing it? Okay. I know her mama probably most likely. You know, you said the mama got there and the mama's, you know, a little controlling, a little hard to deal with. And I can trust me, I can completely understand that one. Her family thought it was a fun family reunion, no tears. Okay. How many family members did she have there during the confrontation that were her family, not your family? Because I know you got your mama and all that there with you. And, but how many of her family members were actually there? And they thought it was a family reunion, no tears. That is insane. That is insane. Dan, let me ask you that too, Daniel. Have they drug tested any of you guys? I mean, that may be personal and you may not want to answer that, but you know, I just thought I'd ask the question. If you don't want to answer it, you ain't got to answer it. But at this point, you don't answer it, we're going to think you on drugs, right? So did they drug test you or Malaya at any time? You know, I hate to ask you, do you or Malaya do drugs? Now, listen, there's been a lot of that people throwing that stuff around out on the internet. Now, when I say drugs, I ain't talking about smoking a little weed or drinking beer. I'm talking about any, like, you know, the bad, hard, heavy stuff. I ain't talking about you worked all day, you come home, crack a beer, smoke a J. I don't consider that drugs. I'm talking heavy stuff. Okay. I know everybody has their way of relaxing and chilling. And, you know, even me, I smoked for shit. What? How old am I? I smoked a long time. I've been clean for 1 year almost. August would be a year. And then it really ain't even my choice. That's because I had a heart attack, a massive heart attack, and I had to quit, right? My heart doctor said, you need to quit smoking. Weed is legal where I'm at too, here in Virginia. So I don't count that as, you know, weed don't make you do anything bad. I don't think. But sometimes people do these hard drugs and they start tweaking or they nod out or, you know, I ain't saying you do. I'm just saying, I guess it's best to ask you, because some people say, like, you know, say that you're a good guy and you don't do those things. And then you got other people like, yeah, this dude's strung out on drugs. And, you know, they point to that as maybe being a reason that these kids are missing. You know, I've heard everything from drug deal gone bad and this party that everybody was talking about. And I've heard you say that this party never happened. No, Michaela was hugging and kissing me up to 5 minutes before she talked privately with her mom. After that, Malaya kept saying, I have to leave with mom. I have to leave with mom. Okay. So the family was blaming you, but Malaya was being good to you. And then she was just like, I gotta leave with mom, and she's cool. And then as soon as she leaves, she flips the switch on you. RCM said drug test not a concern. I asked. Okay, so that clears that up. Nobody's been drug tested in this situation. And wow, that is strange. I asked for drug test. Okay. So I take it if you ask for a drug test, then the answer to do you do drugs is no. Now, this may be something you don't want to answer, but I think you know what question's coming next. Have you seen Malaya? And I'm just going to say this. In the last, let's just say month, before the child went missing, had you seen her do any hard drugs? In the last month. Now, if you don't want to answer, just be like, Dolly, I can't answer that. It'll impede in the investigation. and I can respect that. But if I'm going to ask you if you do drugs, of course, I got to ask, have you seen this woman or do you know of her doing any drugs in the last, let's just say, 30 days before the children went missing? No drugs. Dogs went through house and property. Okay. Yeah, I don't think alcohol or smoking is going to cause erratic behavior. I mean, now if you're hammered drunk, you may do something a little, erratic, but when you sober up, you're not. Usually when we see erratic behavior, it's usually behind, some of these hard drugs or prescription medication, right? Because sometimes prescription medication can be worse than people using. Okay, because I say it all the time. Some of these doctors are the worst drug dealers out there. Mab says Malaya's mother is the key to this case. Now, it seems like Malaya was cool with everything, and then she wasn't. Let me ask this, Daniel. Did you have any time to talk to Malaya before? No, Malaya only did weed. Okay. Now I know this. Weed ain't making you do nothing that crazy. Okay. We can't blame it on that. I know a lot of people that smoke that ain't missing their kids. Okay. So, some people look at, weed like it's super terrible. Me, myself, I don't. I'm like, that shit's, cigarettes are worse. Okay. Cigarettes kill way more people. Like, usually people that smoke are pretty chill ass people, right? You may eat a lot of cookies. I seen that. Daniel said she only smoked. Did y'all have a chance to talk before you did all this media? Because to be truthful with you, when y'all both gave them first interviews, they almost sounded like y'all had talked about what was going on, because Malaya said almost the exact same thing you did. And a lot of people believe that those interviews were scripted, right? Because you said they would talk to anybody and they would get in the car with anybody. I mean, I can understand how they would talk to anybody, but how do you know they would get in the car with anybody? And y'all both said similar things, but at separate times, but in the very beginning. And basically that's the only interview that Malaya gave. You smoke both and should quit. Well, I recommend that. Better for your heart. Okay. And Daniel said, Mab says, why were the kids accepted into the tribe the day they went missing? Okay. That's a good question. And does the tribe give everybody a lawyer that is Native American? And they're not charged with anything. Like, just like Daniel's not charged with anything, Malaya's not charged with anything. Why would the tribe give her a lawyer? Or do they just do that for everybody? Listen, I don't know too much about Native America, how they handle things. So that's a general question. Maybe somebody that's part of the Native community could tell us. I don't know. No, but they get money. After 3 applications denied, we call them bands here. We don't usually use the term tribe. The tribe accepted them to offer more legal rights. Yeah, but why then? If she's not charged with anything, why would the tribe give her a lawyer? We can use USA language so people understand. Okay. Why did they block him from seeing his other children? I think he answered that. Her mother controls her doing media. Yeah, well, she ain't done any media. So she must be doing a pretty damn good job at controlling that, because Malaya hasn't really said anything. And that is one of the reasons there's so much speculation around everything that's going on, is because of Malaya. Now, if she was standing by your side and y'all were out there crying, and most people would be rally behind you, thousands and thousands of people. But with her acting the way she is, it makes everybody suspicious, because y'all were both in the house together, even though y'all were asleep, and she may have been able to get up and do something, or you may have been able to get up. It kind of puts you in a 50-50 situation, but your behaviors are totally different. I mean, clearly totally different. You've been doing media, you've been speaking out, you've been talking to everybody. Yes, granted status, but denied many times. That is odd. That is odd, because Mab, from the beginning, he's an OG here. He's been with us for years. And he said, Dolly, I believe these kids, this is with the family. And they could be on a reservation. They could be hiding these kids. He's been kind of saying that from the beginning. And, because he's been questioning the status of, them giving them status after they go missing. But before they were missing, they didn't. And I don't know how much pull her father has with the natives. Am I saying that right? Is that what y'all call the people up there, natives? The first people, the first settlers, I guess. RCMP are federal, so no protection on reservations. Okay, so they can go right up on the reservations. But one thing I found about reservations, especially some of these ones in California, they are massive. Like, they're huge. Now, I don't know how big the reservations are in Canada, but some of these ones in like Southern California and stuff like that, they are First Nations. Okay, First Nations are massive. Like, I was watching, some stuff on reservations, because like everybody's been bringing it up, so I could update myself on a little bit about what's going on. But I didn't watch Canadian reservations. I just happened to watch this one the other day, and it wasn't very well policed. And there was a lot of drug use and a lot of stuff going on, and they kind of had their own laws. She tells reporters to leave and says Malaya is not doing media. Do you think that hurts spreading awareness that she's not doing the media? And you believe this is coming directly from the mother? Has Nancy Grace or Banfield or anybody reached out to you? I might need to send your story to Nancy Grace. Okay, I have her producer's information and all that stuff. It needs to be on bigger. It needs to be bigger, especially here in the United States. Like, somebody needs to grab this, and that is huge. That's what I feel like. And let's get the pictures out there even more, because at this time, if she is on the run, we need to figure out where the hell she's at, and if Meadow's okay, and if she has hid these kids, we need to find where these kids are located. You think Malaya would crack fast? Yeah, well, some people are not good at lying, right? I mean, there's some people out there that just can't lie. Like, PJ's not good at lying. She don't lie, but I mean, it's because she's no good at it. She just might as well tell the truth, because she's no good at lying. Some people are super good at lying, and then some people can't lie at all. She only asked for kids' birth certificates and school pics and 2 stuffed animals. That's all. Everything Malaya owns is still here. Wow. And she took your 2 sweaters. Yeah, we got to remember that. She took 2 sweaters. She only asked for birth certificates and school pictures. And 2 stuffed animals, that's all. The 2 stuffed animals that she asked for, let me ask you this. Are they Meadows stuffed animals? Or were they Jack and Lily's stuffed animals? Reporters tell you. I bet they will, because you're talking to them and she's not. And I guarantee you all the reporters that have reached out to you have tried to reach out to her too. So yeah, whose stuffed animals were they? Were they Meadows or Jack and Lily's? And did they have a favorite toy? Like a lot of kids have a favorite toy. My kid had a Stitch, and if she lost this Stitch, I would have to hunt for it till I found it. If it took an hour, if it took 10 hours, I always had to find this Stitch toy that belonged to Tiffany. Tiffany's my daughter. And she's 25 now, and we just went to see the Leo and Stitch movie. I bought her this big Stitch toy. But when she was a baby, she had this favorite toy. That's why I was curious if it was Jack or Lily's stuffed animals that she wanted. Or was it Meadows? Because that gives us a little, maybe she wanted these animals because the kids wanted them, kind of thing. Yes, 2 sweaters, LOL. What type of sweaters? Do you know? Did they say anything? What was on the sweaters? Can you describe the sweaters to us? These sweaters that she took? And like when you say sweater, do you mean actually sweater, or do you mean like hoodie? Like has a hood, like I wear them all the time. Like I don't know if that's a sweater or like an actual physical sweater. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He can take all the time he wants. No, Lily and Jack's animals. That is strange, okay? So the stuffed animal she wanted belonged to Lily and Jack. And she wanted school pictures. But she left all her belongings. That's odd. I mean, that's odd. Does anybody else find that odd? I think that's a little odd. And, and y'all are thinking the kids are alive somewhere. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. You're definitely odd. New school, if they need birth certificates or something like that. Why would you need the birth certificates if they're missing? Thank you, Kelly. She isn't coming back. She's getting passports or something. Well, if she's not wanted for anything, she can definitely jump on a plane, and just about go anywhere. Yeah, she wants legal documents. With status, passport, no passport needed. I didn't know that. Even I needed a passport. I'd be out there, Daniel, if I had my passport. That's what I do is I look for missing people. So when I heard about your case, if right now my birth certificate is on its way from Tennessee, I ain't from Tennessee. How the hell it ended up in Tennessee, Daniel, I don't know. Okay. I helped a family in Tennessee that's missing a kid. I bought them some Christmas stuff. And for some reason, they were about to send my birth certificate to their house. And they called me today. And the only thing I'm waiting on is I just got my birth certificate ordered, my social security card. We got to have a real ID to fly now, right? I guess if you're not native, you got to have everything. She can cross into the U.S. with status card. That's crazy because I was just in Niagara Falls and I wanted to visit Canada and I couldn't because all I had was a regular ID. And but now I'm working on getting all these things. If not, I'd have been out there in your front yard. You'd have walked outside, I'd have been there. It's just what I do. I show up. I'll jump on a plane quick and be there in fucking 6 hours. I'll be at your door. You know, I've done it all over the country, but I've never been outside the United States. And that's one of the reasons when this happened, I was like, listen, I got to be more prepared for when these kids go missing, you know, because, you know, I operate a drone. I get out in those woods and I search. I just don't talk about it. I actually do it. And a lot of YouTubers up here, they just sit and talk. I don't like to sit and talk. I like to be out there in the woods, looking, hunting, sleuthing, and those types of things. She headed to federal prison. Are you saying she's headed to federal prison? He said they were not hoodies. Okay, so they were regular sweaters. Okay. But within the next few weeks, I will have my passport, everything ready to rock and roll. You know, if something else occurs, or is there some searches that y'all need help with? If another one pops off, then, you know, and I can get on a plane, I'm more willing to come out and help you guys look. She done effed up, about to find out. I think so too. I think so too. And Daniel, to be honest with you, I'm glad you're talking. I'm actually glad you're talking. And I pray that everything works out with you and Meadow. And listen, now this is telling, if you have nothing to do with this, I wish you nothing but the best. Now, if you have something to do with it and they lock your ass up, I'm going to be there. Okay. You'll see me in person and I'll be like, you get what you deserve for lying. But if you don't have nothing to do with it, then whatever you need, I'll be here to help you, you know? But keep speaking, tell the truth, and the truth will set you free. I didn't come up with that. That is true as can be. That is true as can be. If you just an innocent person, I feel bad for you, because I've given you hell, me, you know. But you got to understand, in the world that I live in, I'm suspicious of everybody. I've been doing true crime now for almost 4 years, and I've seen some of the worst shit that you can believe. You know, I've sat and talked with murderers in person, you know, and mothers that have killed their babies, and mothers that are missing their children, and suspected murderers, accused murderers. I've been around it all. You know, it's terrible. I don't know how that's just happened, but it is what it is. After all this, well, like I said, if they did something or they've hid these kids and these kids are okay, at this point, I look at it like it's a miracle, right? It's a miracle. If she's done something, right? If she's done something, Daniel, would you testify against her? Would you? Can you let me listen? I know you love this woman, but if it comes down to it, could you turn your back? That, I know that is a hard question. Okay, I know it's a hard question. Like, if push comes to shove, and this woman goes to jail for something, is it going to be one of those situations where you're going to be there for her? Or is it going to be one of these situations where you get your daughter and you let her pay the price on her own? And I know that's a hard one. It's a hard one to even ask you, like, because I know love is a powerful thing. I'm jumping off. It's 3:30. Honestly, it's a trait that's hard to find, and you found it. How would I make this much shit up? Okay, Daniel, listen. You get you some rest, man, and you're more than welcome anytime to come up. Make sure you sub the channel. You have a mod wrench here, so we know it's you when you come into the room. We'll let you keep that wrench. If anything happens, or if there's anything you can share, definitely do that. Okay, definitely share it with the people. And the best of luck with CPS tomorrow, and best of luck with clearing this stuff up. Like I said, if you're innocent, I would do anything to help you. If you're guilty, I'm flying my ass to Canada when they cuff you up. Okay, just know that. But with that said, I'm going to hope that you're telling the truth and be a good man and do the right thing. All right. You have a great night, brother. And hopefully we'll talk to you later. All right. With that, we had to do that. So I got to deal with investigators tomorrow, CPS and media. Okay. Well, best of luck to you, and do the right thing. Okay. And listen, if you're telling the truth, you have nothing to worry about. Don't be nervous. The truth will set you free. Okay. But if you're guilty of anything, we coming for you. Just know that. Okay. But if you innocent, we don't want nothing but the best for you. You guilty, we're going to watch you get punished. So, and if this woman, don't let her throw you under the bus. Stand up for yourself, man. Stand up for yourself. And we hope to see you later. Now I'm going to open it up so all you guys watching can get back into the chat. And I'm sure that there's going to be creators that are going to share this, which I don't have no problem with. Just make sure when you share it, you don't shit talk me. Okay. That would be nice. I tried to get as much as I could out of them. Okay. So I'm letting you know now. And if you're like, well, I would have asked them this and I would have asked them that. Well, I'm not you. Okay. I'm not you. I try to treat everybody respectfully, even when I talk about these cases. That's why I give the warnings. That's why I say that it's all speculation. But I always tell people what I think. And, you know, to be honest, I'm suspicious of everything. I'm suspicious of you guys. All right. I got my eyes on you at all times. Okay, so everybody should be allowed back in the room now. And if you haven't liked this damn video yet, you guys better like it. All right. I ain't asking you. I'm telling you. Like the video. Let's see if we can get up to about 1,500 likes. And of course, especially with what's going on and we found out here today on Dolly Vision, I'm sure everybody is going to be talking about Malaya being on the run tomorrow. Okay. It's going to be the fucking talk of the town. All right. I can understand that. And if you share it, like I said, be respectful, people. Don't shit talk me and share my videos. If you're going to do that, don't share me. Okay. But if you're going to be respectful, I don't care. Share it away. I think bringing awareness to this is the best thing. And like I said in the beginning, I want YouTubers talking about this. I want everybody talking about it. And so many people give me shit about a little bit of clickbait here and there, but it's all just to bring awareness. You don't think I can clickbait all kinds of shit and get, you know, other views. It ain't that. It's about these kids, right? So continue to share their picture. You heard Daniel himself say he believes these kids are alive. That everybody took a lie detector test and they all were asked, did they kill Jack and Lily? And everybody passed. So that means they didn't kill the kids, according to lie detector tests. If you believe lie detector tests. Now, I'm a little sketchy on them, to be just dead honest. All YouTubers clickbait. I mean, I look at clickbait different. I do photos like this one you see on the screen where it's pointing to the pink rag, right? Because we talked about that pink rag tonight, right? The boot print, the piece of her blanket. So people will see that and they'll say that's clickbait. And I think clickbait is like when you, like, I put up here to search for Jack and Lily, and then we're talking about fucking Karen Reed. Okay. It's just something totally different to get you in here, but I'm really talking about something else. To me, that's clickbait. I try to make the thumbnails where you want to watch, like, oh, what's going on? Right. And then because of that, it spreads awareness. Okay. More people see it, more people get to hear it. Right. But there'll still be a million people that say things are heating up. It's clickbait. Well, you heard it here tonight. Things are definitely heating the fuck up. I mean, they're heating up. How much hotter does it get than that? She's ungrabbed Meadow and ran. And listen, we got 2 missing kids, right? We got 2 missing kids. We got to talk about this. We got to keep pushing it and keep pushing it. And I think YouTube is good about putting pressure on the police and not making them give up, right? Check her friends. Exactly. Right. It's almost like good sleuthing is go to her Facebook, see who she's friends with, everybody. And then start looking into those people and seeing where they're at in proximity. And because usually, you find a lot out on Facebook, believe it or not. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for joining here tonight. And we're on the road to 69,000 people, which is a lot. Okay. More than I ever fucking thought would join this channel and look at my ugly face. But thank you guys that have subbed up and, ring the bell for notifications and like the video and it's helped pushing this mission. And like I told him, I was like, if I had a passport, I'd be there. I'd have been there when it happened. But everything, right now ain't happening that way. And I'm in kind of limbo, but I will be able to hit the air here soon. So you're going to see me guys back on the road. The air. You'll see me on the road a little bit, but I'm going to be flying a lot of places. I'm flying to Florida for Stephen Stearns. I'm flying I might drive to Raleigh. I'm going to Carolina for GalaxyCon. A lot of horror movie people are going to be there. So I'm going to be, next month I'll be in Raleigh. And then the following end of August, I'll be in Florida. September, Colorado, and then Idaho. Okay, so I'm gonna be a little bit of all over the country this summer, and then of course, if anything pops up, Dolly, his last text said him and Meadow would visit her in prison. Wow, wow. Well said. Well said. And I can understand that. I can understand that. And listen, it has to be hard for him to say something like that. Because you know why? Because I know Daniel loves Malaya. I'm a man. I can see it. I can see it in the interviews. I know he loves this woman. And if he didn't have nothing to do with this, he just lost his whole life. He done lost a woman he loved, the kids that he was taking care of like they were his own. His kid, if this man has nothing to do with this, poor guy, right? I mean, how much worse can it get than that? Now, if he has something to do with it, he's going to end up paying, right? He better pray to God he don't, right? And he only knows that. None of us do. It's only him. But if he don't, and it comes out in the end that this man ain't got nothing to do with it, and he's just another Danny, like in the Leilani situation. Wow. I mean, because he's got it bad. I mean, he's been called everything but a white boy. Okay. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, even me, I haven't been easy on him. But I'm an adult, and if I'm wrong, I've never said he's done anything. I just say he's suspicious. Things don't add up. There's red flags. And I still think that there's just still some things that seem inconsistent. And I don't know why, but when you love a woman, man, that is a powerful thing, right? It is a powerful thing. But if he's saying that, he'll visit her in prison, that's all you can do, right? I mean, that's all you can do. And if it does come out, he has nothing to do with this. Dolly will be the first person to apologize for even thinking he was suspicious. I tell every family that, look, if I'm wrong about you, look, you'll know that I will contact you, and I'm definitely going to apologize to even thinking you had anything to do with it. I've told everybody that, right? But man, lately, I don't know. I was wrong today about Karen Reed. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I let everybody know, hey, listen, I could be fucking wrong. It wouldn't be the first time, right? So But I think there's going to be some closure to this. All right. I think there's going to be an outcome. I don't think this is going to be a Summer Wells case. I don't think this is going to be a Sebastian Rogers case or Summer Moon Wells or even Michael Monkey Vaughn. I think there's going to be some closure to this. And look, if we seen today, right, for everybody watching, that miracles do happen. Let's pray to God that this man is telling the truth, that another miracle happens, and that Meadow's okay. Because right now it's a scary situation, especially if he's 100% telling the truth. That she's gone, she has Meadow, and if they take Meadow, she may do something wrong. Now, I wasn't wrong about Karen Reed being a killer. I still say that. I still believe Karen Reed is guilty. I just believe they found her innocent. Just because they find you innocent don't mean you didn't do it. Okay? I still believe she did it, but right now I won't call her a killer because she's been claimed to be an innocent woman. I'll leave it at that. But just because you found OJ was found innocent. That's all I'm going to say in the Karen Reed situation. OJ was innocent too. And everybody know that ain't true. Everybody know that ain't true. So we will post first thing in the morning. I will post, the wanted flyers for Jack and Lily because that hasn't been done in a while. And I want all you guys to share it. If you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, I want you to join that group. Okay. And we're going to be posting things on that group that we want you to share. Okay. Especially these pictures of these kids. If he's right and that caller was right, that is Malaya's family. Now we done heard from Daniel. We done heard from her cousin. Right. And if they're telling the truth, these babies are out there. And we need to share the shit out of these flyers because like he said, Malaya can jump on a plane and she could be in the United States. She could be anywhere in the damn country with her native status, right? So Good Vibe says, where's the baby? Absolutely, right? I mean, that ain't my slogan for nothing, right? We're in the where's the baby business. And we want these babies found. Listen, I would love to quit talking about this. Just like every case, I would love to shut the fuck up, right? You think I like talking? Not really. I'd rather be doing other things. But I know that I need to do what I'm doing because there needs to be more people doing this. It's trying to spread awareness. And I know this, if it was my family, it was my child, I would want as many people talking about it and sharing that picture as I could get. So mods, post a link to the Facebook group. And if you're not a member of that Facebook group, join it. Okay. Because in the morning, I'm going to post pictures of these kids and I want every last one of you to share it. I'm going to check. Okay. I'm going to go through and check. And this is your homework. Okay. Join that group. When I post this flyer, as a matter of fact, I'll post it tonight. I want to see you guys. Listen, I promise you this. If you do this, something good is going to happen for you. Okay? Give out a blessing, and I promise you a blessing will come back in return. All right? Now, I just need you guys to share this photo tonight. That's it. You ain't even got to do it tonight, but share it tomorrow if you don't do it tonight. But join the group, click on the link. Mods, post that link. And matter of fact, there you go. Y'all share the photo that I post on your Facebook, and I will pick a couple people from that, and I will give away a Dolly shirt, hoodie, or whatever, soap, lotions, whatever we got on the merch store. I will put a little prize pack together for a couple of you people. And so that way there's a little bit of a benefit. I shouldn't have to give you shit to share missing kids, but I will. So, on Facebook, when I share something and you share it, it tells me how many shares it got and it shows me who shares it. So definitely share this photo. And I promise you, look, I give you my word. Something good will come your way, right? You want some good luck? You having bad luck? Put good into the world. And I guarantee you, good will come back to you. That's the reason I do it. That's it. I used to have shitty, terrible luck. Now I'm blessed all the time. And it's because I've been doing the right things. You do the wrong things, bad shit's going to happen to you. You do the right things, good stuff will come your way. I promise you. I give you my word. Okay? I want the Razzle Dazzle soap. I'll tell you what. Y'all share that photo, and I will give away some Razzle Dazzle soap. It's the brand new one. Okay? It's the fully Razzle Dazzle. Best soap in the game. Okay? So share this photo. I'm going to post it in just a few minutes. Join that group. Share that photo. Sage just posted it. Okay? Let's get these kids out there. That's what you can do to help. Listen, if you sit at a desk and you're thinking, what can I do to help a kid? Spread awareness, baby. That's it. That's what you can do. And you just never know who will see it and how far it can go. I will see you guys in tomorrow. I got a little bit of stuff I got to do. I got to finish up my tiki bar when I get up, but I will post. I will come live with you guys sometime before 2. All right, I'm gonna sleep in a little bit. It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning now. Okay, and thank you for coming by and sharing, Daniel. Thank you guys for being here with us. And if you haven't, like the video. And I'm gonna jump over to the group, and I will get that picture posted so you guys can share it. Be easy. Dolly loves you. Peace.